pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play.
Okay. Let's just go ahead and get into it. What's up? What's going on? Fuck yeah. What is going on, everybody? Akasan in the house. Good morning to all of you today on this very, very special day. No, it's usual day, but actually, so we are going to have another discussion. I didn't think that we were going to have this topic or talk about this topic. I didn't think that it was that. I didn't think it was really that controversial or opinionated, but we are going to have a discussion about one John Walker, aka Captain America. Was he right? Was he right? And by right, that means murdering a dude in open public, taking down somebody with their hands up, don't shoot, saying please no, and decapitating them, or essentially just caving in their chest and leaving them a pile of bloody mess in broad daylight in the public. Was he right? Apparently, some people think so. Which is a little concerning, actually. I'll be honest that there's actually some people actually defending that action. There is a difference between understanding what he was going through. In fact, let's take it back. Let's take it back a little bit. Just a moment. Whoa. A Gaming, thank you for hosting here. Appreciate the host. Scared the shit out of me, but thank you for the host. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's back this up a little bit. So let me see if I can get some photos to go with this. America, fuck yeah! And we're gonna just give you guys a some time to. Wow, I didn't know John Walker. Oh, Johnny Walker is a drink as well. I didn't know that. Okay, cool. All right. Now you know what? I think I have an easier way to do this. No, I do not. Because wait, do I? No, I do not. Okay, hold on. I need to actually. The episode is on Disney Plus, and I was just going to take the screenshots from that, but it's on another computer. But you know what? Ultimately, I think that's the easiest instead of me showing you a bunch of Google images and everything. So just one moment here. Look at this for a second. All right, I'm back. All right. So, where was I? Okay, so the whole world in episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There you go. That's just the easiest way. It's the easiest way to skim through it. Otherwise, it's going to take forever. We see Zemo and company tracking down a group of terrorists, mind you, that have been terrorizing, but they have their own fan of supporters. But we do get one moment where Carly, the leader of these superpowered terrorists, is having a conversation with this one guy, talking about how he looked up. He's a fan of Captain America, not the current Captain America, but he looks up to Captain America when he was a kid and everything, as most people did. And then the big argument is the fact that, that Captain America couldn't exist in today's world, that the morals and values of back in the day of the greatest generation, as they call it, is gone now, right? So, and then that the argument stands is if there needs to be a Captain America anymore. Oh, that was weird. What just... Okay. Something fell. Okay. If there needs to be a Captain America anymore, if them having the super soldier serum, Carly and company, is even worth it, the flag smashers, right? Then later in the episode, we're introduced to good old Johnny Walker here. He comes in imposing his will, trying to call the shots as usual. And we've been seeing that John Walker has been cracking at the seams ever since he got this position of being Captain America, ever since he was handed this position. And he has constantly felt like he's been trying to prove himself to the world, to himself, to everybody, that he is indeed Captain America. When he introduces himself, he doesn't just say his name. He says, John Walker, Captain America, like that, right? So he's really got this inferiority complex that's been, has finally come full circle. And, one of the biggest things is that he may be Captain America in name, but, statistically speaking, at this moment in time, he's not even close to Steve Rogers. Particularly because it revolves around the super soldier serum that was ingested by Steve Rogers, among with Tony Stark's father, Howard Stark's Vita rays. But anyways, we start to see more of that inferiority complex come up a lot more. And it's also reflected within Sam as well, the difference between being a good soldier and a good man. Sam sees something in Carly. I always want to say iCarly, and is trying to get Carly to stand down peacefully and resolve this. But obviously John was not having any of this. Like I said, he was been cracking at the seams already. He handcuffed Zemo, wouldn't even give Sam 10 minutes to try to talk Carly down and such. But whatever, right? It keeps going. Damn near John Walker was about to grab a casket during the funeral and throw it at Carly, but no, whatever, right? Anyways, here's where it gets down to the pinnacle point. As most of you guys know, even before this sort of discussion that's being had with Falcon and Carly, which I thought was really well handled and everything. Even before all of this, Zemo. Actually, let's get to this point where Carly has vials of the super soldier serum. John Walker is able to snag one before Zemo breaks everything, right? He's just fiending for it. I thought he was gonna lick that shit off the fucking ground like Shingeki no Kyojin. But yeah, he's already debating with it. He's already debating with it because he's dealing with people that are obviously way overpowered overpowered compared to him. And this is plaguing on him big time. It's bothering him a lot because he originally he just thinks the only people that are probably going to be stronger than him are super soldiers, right? That's his whole thing, is a power complex, inferiority complex, trying to live up to the legacy of Steve Rogers without really actually understanding why Steve Rogers is the person he is, why Captain America, that Captain America, there's only one. And there's actually a very good conversation. There's actually a very good discussion here with between Zemo and oh shit, I should have been recording all this. Oh well. Damn. All right, I guess we're just gonna get this a little later. I'll just have to pull it off the VLD. There's a good conversation between no, you know what? In fact, I'm gonna start recording right now. Boom. There you go. And then I'll just have to piece it together a little later. All right. What was I gonna say? So where are we? Okay, so where was I? Okay, here we go. So there's a good conversation here between Zemo and Sam about superiority and supremacy. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier has not shied away from undertones of racial injustice, police brutality, American superiority complex, and American influences around the world, thinking that they're the world's police. It's not so subtle, or so I thought, but yes, there's a huge conversation between Zemo and of Sam about, if you had the serum, would you take it? Zemo is not wrong, but his actions and the way he's going about it and killing people is what makes him a villain, right? But his whole thing is the fact that he doesn't think super soldiers should exist from the beginning, with the exception being Steve Rogers, right? It's very interesting about that because but anyways, here's where it gets to the real point is the Dora Milaje. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Zemo is a wanted criminal. Zemo is also responsible for killing King T'Chaka from Wakanda, and Dora Milaje are coming for his ass, man. They are coming for his ass. John Walker's goofy ass is in here as well. He is trying to impose, the fact that the Dora Milaje has no jurisdiction here. Another power trip. He was about to fight Sam for some reason, saying that he's going to put the shield down to make it fair. And then these black chicks walk in, and he sees another. Well, actually, I don't even think he saw the Dora Milaje as even a threat at that time. And then this happens. Let's see if I can get it queued up here. All right. They whooped his monkey ass, dude. Hard. Of course, Zemo escapes. But I think one of the most insulting points for John, like he didn't even stand a chance against them. And these aren't even like the high ranking ones. I mean, it's not even like Okoye or anything like that. These are just like he was going up against someone like I barely have seen And I think what was one of the most insulting moments for him was the fact that while he was getting his ass handed, she popped the shield up like, oh, okay, this fucking frisbee. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. All right, here it is. Let's see. She's like, whatever. Here's your piece of shit, dude. And so they like completely dismantled. They just came in and wrecked their shit. And again, there's a subcontext. There's a subcontext to this, is the fact that, okay, two or three black women came in, wrecked your shit. You didn't even have a chance, and then they just left. They just let you off. They because you weren't even a player in their game. You weren't even a factor. They came for Zemo. Zemo bounced. They're like, all right, we're done. You're not even worth the fight, basically, because they've proven to you beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're whack ass shit, right? And John his shit is shook, man. And here, what did they say right here? They weren't even super soldiers. So that's a whole nother thing about his inferiority, is the fact that he's getting this shit wrecked by just some African women and shit, which is, no disrespect to the Dora Milaje. Like, Sam warned John, like, you probably want to fight Bucky before you even tangle. Bucky got his shit wrecked too, right? They did some on him, right? Anyways, I'm speeding up this situation because here's where I guess the controversy lies. Carly kills in a scuffle. John already took the serum at this point. He shot it up in his hotel room or something like that after getting his shit wrecked. Carly kills his partner, his buddy or whatever, right? And essentially at that point, John loses his cool, if he ever had any at this point. He's bleeding from the sides of his head. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even understand how that happened. He's already bleeding from the sides of his head. I don't know what part that was happening, but he just goes full blown rage mode. And again, let's keep in mind that which I thought was really weird, was the fact that Carly had already set on the idea of killing Captain America and probably Battlestar, right? But then she dips. Like, she just straight up dips and just runs away. And this dude is on full blown war path right now. And basically this happens. He's chasing down that guy earlier, Carly's co-worker or whatever, and just hunts this man down, dude. They caught this man in 4K, y'all. They caught this man in 8K. Look at that. Look at that. They caught this man in 8K, man. So, and interesting enough, I'm just seeing right now, this dude is not even shocked. Like, this dude is not even shocked. Like, he's somewhat shocked. I think, like, after the deed is done, the deed is done, he adjusts his shield and everything. He's just like, yeah, job well done, like that. And then it's not until like later that he realizes that, he got caught in 4K. Like everybody's seeing his ass, and you know his reaction to that is even different. And Carly's up here pissed her pants and shit. I'm like, yeah. And then that's where it really gets. Let me see if I can find it. And then so now he sees all his people. It's a very Homelander moment. In fact, that's what I feel. Yeah. And that's the iconic scene right there. That's the iconic scene right there, right? That's where that's the shock. That's the shock in all part is the reputation of Captain America. John, somebody told me somebody said something really cool the other day was the fact that Steve Rogers is the embodiment of what America wants to be, but John Walker is what America really is, the symbol of what America really is, imposing their will and such, right? Um, which is very interesting. Contrast. Anyways, so here's the controversy. Here's the tea. Which is it's wild to me that this even needs to be a discussion. But apparently we've had some hot takes of we've had some hot takes on Twitter, of all places. Of course, it's always Twitter, right? We've had some, and like, and I've always told you guys, like, be careful what you see on Twitter. People, Twitter essentially exists just to annoy people. Like, that's a given. Twitter exists just to annoy people, essentially, right? You live in this weird hub, and then people are going to do and say whatever they can to get the retweets, to get the likes, whatever, promote their shit, whatever, get the blue checks and all that, right? So that's one of the things you always got to remember. So it's a hot take, right? But the problem is the danger with posting your opinion, even if it's satire or whatever, is the fact that unfortunately some people can't see through that, and some people believe it, and you set a precedence that it's actually right in what you're saying. There's one thing about having an opinion, but when you start stating your opinion as a fact and that this is a good thing or whatever, that's when there's a problem here. And I'm trying to find it because like this happened a few days ago. There was somebody on Twitter that posted something on Twitter. I'm trying to find it real quick. That created quite a stir in the fandom. And, you know, for the most part, everybody's like, come on now. You know, this is wrong, right? Like, you know, like, let's hope it's a joke. It's like, please say psych, right? Oh my God, where is it? Found it. All right. Yep, exactly. People say things just for clout. All right. So here we are. After that episode aired, knockoff Captain America, knockoff Cap has now become my favorite character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. A man willing to do what it takes. America thanks you for your service. And the first time I said this, the first time I saw this, I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, all right, I mean, I was like, that's a pretty funny joke or whatever. I get it. You know, you're trying to act like one of the MAGAs or alt-right type people, right? Like you're kind of like nobody's gonna take this seriously. And then I start seeing and then I start seeing a reply. Ooh, hold on, because everybody's just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, are you serious right now? Like, are you like and so damn it. Here we go. Okay. Ah, he finally replied. Oh, here we go. So here's the part that made set it on fire here. He's the only interesting thing about the show for me. This episode's ending was great. I want more brutality. Um and so this really, like, if you just look at the and again, like I said, you try to do hot takes for people. And look, this, like, all the people retweeting are just like, yo, what the hell? This is the stupidest yet funniest takeaway from the show. There could be not a worse takeaway than this. What in your right mind would make you think that this makes any sense? White people hard block. Like, this guy got zero inbox. Like, when you completely miss the point of this show, you know. So I'm speechless. So it's like, yo, again, as I see that he just finally, after a day and a half of this getting crazy traction right now, it looked like he said that he missed the sarcasm, like that people are missing the sarcasm, but you know, Logan was even on here being like, yo, big yikes, John, you know. And so I talked about it briefly yesterday, and some people were getting mad at me because they're like, no, you just don't understand, he likes the Joker. I'm like, it's not about liking the Joker or not, but if you really like this entire show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is about subtle undertones about what's really going on around the world, and particularly obviously in America, right? And police brutality is one of those. Like, there's no other sort of excuse to have on that. Like, you can't be up here, especially being a film critic or something, you can't be up here saying that stuff and not realize the context of what that scene was trying to portray. And especially saying America thanks you for your duty. It's like, all right, now, come on now. So, you know, people can say whatever they want on Twitter, but there's always going to be a responsibility. There's always going to be the repercussions of having shit takes. It's like, you know, it's crazy. It's wild. It's wild about this particular situation. So, but anyways, I was having a conversation with, because so the context of what this stands for is essentially the MAGA sort of references that people have made. I've heard it down the line. I don't know exactly which case it was, because it happens all the time. But whenever you see what's his name? But that one kid that shot two black people in a protest or something like that. That one kid, Kissinger or something like that. And so people were like, "Thank you for your service," like that. He's doing God's will. He's doing God's plan. He's making America great again. Like, there's no way that, you know, wasn't inexcusable here. America thanks you for your service, you know? Now, if it's in satire, it's fine, but you better be real quick to clean that up. You know, don't wait a day and a half for all of that, right? Anyways, but it was interesting to see, because it seems like there are people that are up here defending what John Walker, the character, did. Some people that think it was right that he killed an unarmed terrorist. in cold blood. He executed. He like let's make that for he like legit executed. It wasn't a thing of the fact that Steve Rogers in the past have killed Nazis within the heat of battle and things like that, right? But he wasn't personally vengefully hunting and gunning down people are trying to kill these people just for the sake of killing them, right? This was a manhunt. You guys all saw it. We just saw the recap. I just gave you the recap of how it all went down. It wasn't even the person that killed his partner. It was the side person. Like, that's vengeance. And that's the biggest problem about someone with the name of Captain America taking on this role. He's ill-suited for the role, but on top of that, he like legit murdered a man. But this is and then obviously this goes down into the whole context of being a Snyder fan. Not saying that all fans are like that, but it's like, okay, it goes I mentioned it last week about Batman killing. There's certain lines you just don't cross, and this is one of them because it completely taints your the image of what you think. Like it completely taints everything of what that character is supposed to be and what they're supposed to stand for and such, right? And I thought the writers made it abundantly clear that that was the point, right? But apparently not. I think. And I saw something on Twitter today that another writer said. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Okay. There was one particular writer that said something here. Just a moment. Okay. A whole lot of people out here loving John Walker's actions in this week's Falcon and the Winter Soldier and thinking he was right. A whole lot of people out there who definitely do not understand assignment or subtext or simple context or literally anything that the show is doing. And that's true. That's exactly true. I have one more better that I thought was really good as well. Excuse me. Sorry, I wasn't really that prepared here. Just a moment. Here we go. Found it. If you're interpreting John Walker's character arc as anything but terrifying and metaphorical, you are intentionally choosing not to see and understand a point the writers were trying to convey. It's intellectual dishonesty at its peak. These actions should not be cheered. So, I mean, okay. So, let me show you. Let me take some questions from the comments real quick to clear this up with some people, because I had to block some people on my Twitter here because it was like, I was like, all right, like I have no problems if people want to share their opinion, but the moment you start saying like, oh, Akasan, you're fucking stupid, or this is why you don't have as many subscribers and blah blah, I'm like, okay, yeah, block. We're done here. I disagree. What does MAGA have anything to do with this show? People are very strange. It's not strange at all. Like, so I guess I can, the simplest way I can compare it is the fact that essentially in the previous presidential administration that we had, Trump would say something and usually say something stupid or have some sort of weird hot take or say something that had a subtext of some sort of racial problem. Stand down, stand by, right? And then all the supporters would be supporting this sort of sub-layered racism or injustice, right? And so that's where this all kind of comes full circle, is the fact that if you're up here saying America thanks you for your service, that's exactly what a lot of, not all, but a lot of MAGA fans would be saying. America thanks you for your service. And we're also including alt-right divisions as well. So I hope that clears that up. That there's a lot of MAGA fans, not all, but a lot of MAGA fans out here saying that had been saying the same thing all the time. And they were all about that America up at the point of storming the Capitol as well. We're taking back America. Right? So hope that explains that. Let me see. This might be weird, but that shot of the shield with the blood is or will be a defining moment for the MCU. True that. Unfortunately, true that. You're gonna call. You can call in just a second. Oh, here we go. Walker represents us. Cruel, selfish, and harsh. He doesn't represent me. He might represent you, but that's not. And see, I think this is the problem. It's like people have this concept that this is the way America should be. As this is the way, this is my type of America. This is my type of Captain America. Yeah, gets the job done. Fucking edgy shit. I'm looking for some other shit. There we go. Yep. It's a cringy saying that a lot of Americans said over the past 5 years. Okay, something different. Okay. Edgy shit. Not being able to enjoy a show without gratuitous brutality says a lot about that person in general. I don't disagree there. Yeah. All right, let's take some calls here. Here we go. Yeah, you know, once you lost your virginity to this fucking Captain America, and then you come and say to me something about, oh, my superhero wouldn't do that. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I'm like down the fucking road on that, man. Oh shit, man. Let's take some calls, y'all. I prefer this time. I mean, if you can just call in with no camera, that's fine. I think it's a little bit better. But yeah, there you go. I'm gonna eat my breakfast, play some music, man. This is fucking crazy. I can't even believe we're having this fucking conversation. Again, I personally feel it's fine to understand it, like you have every right to feel for what John Walker has been going through, right? And you can even defend him in some point, at some point, to some point. But saying what he did was right and saying bring it on, this is what it should be, this is the way Captain America should be. Again, it goes back to the whole thing with Batman killing. I'm like, are you serious? That's crazy. Executing people in public like that? Like that, there might be something a little criminal. There might be something a little mentally wrong if you're saying something like that. Yeah. All right. Ronan,
Hey, Akasan.
what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm having my breakfast, so excuse that. But
Good morning.
yeah, good morning to you. Good evening to you.
Yeah.
What's your take on is John Walker right? Is what he did right? What's your thought about this?
No, what he did wasn't right in my eyes, in my opinion. I understand losing a friend or losing someone in family gets you angry, want to do stuff like that. But like you said, and I think a lot of us agree with it. Like, there's a line you don't cross. So I mean, you perfect example. You said it was the Zack Snyder Batman, and you know I like those movies, though. There's stuff that I don't like and appreciate. And it's still hard for me to take. And I told you in the past, there's a difference between beating someone hardcore and still hearing them breathe, and there's something that's crossing that line. And what's weird to me is that I told somebody in my family that we were watching the show, and I told him, okay, I know about John Walker, I know about U.S. Agent, and that shot where he winks in the first episode. I'm like, okay, please make this guy 3-dimensional. Give me something to have hope, and then maybe just me ignorant in my early 20s, and I'm like, give me something of hopeful for this guy to be like, hey, you don't deserve that shield. That's Sam's. He earned it. Cap, Steve gave it to him. You could wait in line. You could earn it afterwards, but right now it's Sam's turn. And even the second episode, third episode, where he's like, I'm not trying to be Steve, all that stuff. I'm like, okay, John, you're doing good so far. Don't screw, you're not in a good place, but don't screw it up now. And then, stay out of my way. And it was weird because the whole episode, I was just like, John, don't step in the room. Just let them talk it out. I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best not to hate you. It is my point to dislike you at a certain point when Sam takes the shield, but don't make me go like have something redeeming value. Like, there's something even with Magneto. He kills people, and that's why he's the villain. But there's parts of it that I understand, and he goes both ways. Where it's like, all right, I'm good now, I'm bad now, and that's the whole thing about this last episode. That I'm like, oh, man, what to do now? That's what my whole thing. I said, John, what did you just do?
Yeah,
that's no good look. And I told you in the comment that shot is scary, and yet it's sort of like that's no. What does this mean now for the next few years of the MCU? And it's weird, dude. This is a fictional character, but I told someone, I'm like, WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is, and I might be a reach, but it's the most Marvel stories they've told that go back to the 60s and 70s comic books that they were doing, where they were talking about injustice and bringing people together, and the others, taking a look at the others and what they're going through, and that there's no difference, that everyone's the same, and all that stuff. And I'm like, good on you with this show. It was an excellent episode, but and listen, this is weird, and I don't want people attacking Wyatt Russell on social media. Wyatt Russell is doing an excellent job, but hey, Wyatt, the minute he got the offer, is like, you know what you're going into, right? This is you're putting on a costume and wearing a shield that a lot of people are gonna be like, no.
right.
There's these men have been waiting, not waiting, but they've earned it, and it's time for a fresh take on El Capitan.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, it was always less about being Captain America. Like,
Right.
it was less about being Captain America, and the whole thing of like, dude, you legit executed somebody in public. Like, you're an official government employee. Yes. Like, it's, I mean, obviously, there's more about it in the fact of the legacy that he's trying to, like, he's continuing from. And I get that point, but the main thing was like, dude, this dude had his hands up, like you're a police officer, you're government police. Yes. You're a person of authority. They already mentioned it with the whole thing about jurisdiction and blah blah blah, which John Walker loved to flaunt around. Even in the previous episode, some dude spit on his ass and he was like, "Do you know who I am?" Like, just showcasing that. Like, this dude was never. Most of the time, this dude was never out of costume, which I thought was kind of interesting because Steve Rogers did his best to try to conceal himself within the crowd most of the time when he wasn't running from the government. He put his shield in an art bag that. And when he did do deep ops, like he wasn't flaunting that red and blue. Like the Winter Soldier portrayed that perfectly, is when he did a stealth op. Even the goddamn shield was kind of like gray or undercover, because the last thing you need is America's colors being thrown around while you're like assassinating terrorists. Yeah, you're doing black ops type of stuff. So but like I thought it was really weird, like the moment John was tracking down Zemo and the rest of the crew, he was in costume. I'm like, why are you in costume though?
Stealth.
Yeah, right. I'm like, are you trying to be noticed and everything? Like, and that was the thing. He always wanted that attention and what have you not. But the moment you essentially hit a dude in the back with the shield, not to mention he hit Zemo in the face as well. But I mean, like, I'm like, whatever. That's not even a big deal. But this dude is running from you and you take him down. He's on the ground, hands up, and he's like, please, no. I mean, to me, that's almost that's essentially tiptoeing on George Floyd type territory. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Like, please, mom, I'm sorry, like that. That's essentially tiptoeing on that same sort of territory of like, look, hands up, don't shoot. Okay, well, I'm just gonna kill you right here and there. So I guess not everybody saw that, but that's definitely what I saw.
I just hope, and this is weird to say because it's a PG-13 and sometimes levels on that, not rated R, but you know what I mean, that maturity level of like telling about what's happening now and just between common sense and what's extremist and whatnot. And I like to hope that kids maybe at one point at the right age and whatnot with a good context look at these shows and say that there's a way about it and there's even a better way to go about things and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's what I took from the X-Men when I was a kid. That was perfect for me and whatnot. And it's man, it's weird because like I said, I was the whole time I'm like, John, don't go there, man. Like you don't play to this.
So you were like Tyra Banks. We were like, we were rooting for you. I was rooting for you. We all were.
No, I'm like, John, you're not there yet, and that's the whole thing about with legacy stuff right now. And not even just legacy, but just like there's people that like talk to Sam. Like there's these people have been around and know the experience. They're not even going after. They weren't saying about it's Bucky being like, just because have the shield, doesn't mean you cap. Even Sam was just like, dude, just let me talk. How about let's do that before we just rushing in front door and smashing stuff around. And what's weird is that who knows where the hell are they gonna go from now with this episode?
Well, see, and that's also the thing was like Steve Rogers was never one to just go rushing into anything. Like this dude was always pretty careful. And like you mentioned it already, Steve tried to see the best in people, whereas John was already seeing the worst in
reactionary
people.
Yes.
Yeah. And reactionary about it. He was like, look, they're labeled a terrorist. I gotta take out terrorists. Where one of the things I've always remembered about Steve was the first time he met Bruce Banner. Bruce said something about like, oh, I'm sure you've heard a lot about something, and Steve dismissed all that, and he's just like, that the only thing I care about is the person I'm talking to right here, like right here, right now.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't care anything about the rest, like, and that was always the thing was like, as mentioned, Steve was the reason he was chosen is because he's a good man and
yes,
not a good soldier. Whereas John Walters is a good soldier, but not necessarily a good man.
The rules,
yeah,
good makes great, bad makes worse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird what you're saying because
post-traumatic stress syndrome makes you even more fucking psycho. Yeah, exactly.
I've had this discussion with families of like, I can't get into Captain America. It's just the flag around. I'm like, no, just look at Steve. Look at Steve, and then you can get that's just a costume. Look at Steve, and then if you can get behind Steve, you can go all the way with that. And that's if anyone says that Steve would have just gone down. There's a whole movie dedicated to showing you what Steve was doing for the most part, even with Tony. Be like,
Yep.
Tony, we never had that much agreement, but I'm doing my best. That even when I think you're doing something good, you turn it back. Or not. And there's a civil war. That's the whole movie. It's just like
Yep.
Steve kind of keeps it together. And be like, this is not the way.
Interesting fact, most of Steve's career within the MCU, he was actually against the government.
That's what yeah, exactly.
Only one, just the first movie he was actually with the government, and then the second movie he was already renegade. The third movie he was exiled or nomadic. He was Steve actually was really against the government nowadays, but he was the embodiment of what America should be, which is compassionatory, and you can have that power. You can walk softly, but carry a big stick, but not necessarily need to use it. Whereas John Walker was like, fling, fling, fling. Do you know who I am? You know, it's like
it goes back to that line with Sam where it said, like, listen, for 70 years we didn't have a Captain America, and we did all right. And I would throw it back at Sam and be like, but could we have been doing better?
Yeah. Okay.
And my parents always said that to me with grades. I'm like, oh, I got a B+. Good, son. But you've done a little bit better with an A+ or A-. You know, it's silly. It's silly. I'm sorry. It's silly, but it's the simple, you know, knowledge and stuff. Being like, can we be better? And it was Mark Bernard, and I love that you use that quote. It was Mark Bernard and from Femme and Beyond, Kevin Smith's friend, I believe, who said that quote of Steve Rogers is who America wants to be, and John Walker is who America is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know. Again, I like I told you guys, I tried with John, and I'm like, I hope there's something to be learned with John. I'm like, he's
going to be interesting. Like gradually, if he goes down the direction we all think he's going to go down in terms of the comics, it'll be very interesting to see him doing it. And then if they go even further with making Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers or something like that, it'll be even more interesting to see something like that. Like but at this moment in time, it's like, damn, all right, John, you went down the path a lot of us were hoping you weren't, but here we are now. Here we are now. All right, well, thank you, Ronan, appreciate it.
Akasan. Appreciate
talking to you, man. Thank you. Later, man. Peace. What's up, J. King?
I didn't think we need to have this discussion, but apparently we needed to, huh?
Apparently, there's people that think that this is the new normal. Like this is the Captain America. This is the Captain America the USA deserves. That we've been waiting for this entire time. Yeah.
Well, you know, all those people are Snyder people, so.
You said it. I didn't say it. I mean, I just assumed, and I'm like, oh, yep, there it is. Yep, there we go.
All jokes aside with that whole thing. If you ask me how I feel about, like, was he right in this? Fuck no. But do I understand where he came with this? Hell yeah, I understand. He literally had to see his best friend since high school get murked right in front of him. Who wouldn't be upset at that fact? I think that thing that people aren't really understanding, and I have seen your like retweets on Twitter of people's comments about this. I think the thing that people really aren't getting is the fact that, yeah, as you said earlier, there's a difference between understanding and there's a difference between condoning a murder that you all witnessed and recorded with your phones, like right there. Like, he didn't decapitate, but he caved his chest in with that shield that represents a hell of a lot more to a lot of people. And I think this, you brought this up during your reaction, but this definitely harbors back. I think this entire season of The Falcon and Winter Soldier definitely harbors back to that first Captain America movie, that scene between Steve and the Doctor, where he was telling him the reason he chose Steve as opposed to any of the other soldiers that were there in that camp. It was like, you know, to kind of somewhat say it, you know, a soldier who's known power all his life is probably going to disrespect it, but a man who has never known power all his life will learn to maybe respect it. And again, Steve wasn't the best person, but he did try his best to see the best in a lot of people. And again, throughout this entire show, I have been trying to play devil's advocate a little bit. I've been seeing people just hating on John since the moment he showed up in episode 1. And me knowing exactly that scene. And me knowing the character from the comics, it's like, okay, I know what he's about. I know there's a lot more to him than the people are giving him credit for. So and just like as Ronan said, let me wait out and see how this goes. Sadly, he let me down, but I mean, it's also kind of was what I was expecting to happen. So I don't condone it, but I do understand it.
Yeah, yeah. But and it's understandable on some level, but it's also, I feel that we've been seeing the path that John was going down anyways, and it seems to me like this, if anything, that was kind of his excuse. Like, if any, I still feel like at some point he probably would have been murking people. Even if Battlestar wasn't killed in front of him, he was looking for an excuse to just take out some people.
He definitely was. Like, the whole freaking episode, he's like, "Don't patronize me." And I'm like, ever since, like, it was obvious because, again, he was put to these high standards that Steve Rogers had been put to, or to at least what the view of Captain America had been put to. And when you have that much pressure on you, weighing down on you for the entirety that we've seen John having to deal with it up to this point, it's like, yeah, at some point he probably was going to crack, whether it be from Lamar getting killed or not.
Right. I don't know how he busted up his head though. Like somehow he was like bleeding on both sides of his head or something like that. I guess in some sense, like that might be one of the reasons they cut it out, because it's like if John got concussed, if he was dealing with a concussion at that time, some people would have had a little more sympathy for him. Like, no, well, he didn't really know where he was. He wasn't in his right frame of mind. That's why he killed that dude in broad daylight. I'm sure they might talk about it in the next episode as well. I mean, still I want to say there's no excuse, but at the same time, like, okay, shit happens, but this is kind of the destiny you sort of dug for yourself as well. You chose to take that serum. You know what it did. People already talked to you about it. People already explained to you what happens when you take it. You already saw they got 6 or 7 supercharged super soldiers running around with that stuff in their veins, and you see what's happening with them. Yeah, man. What did you think? Like, it goes back to roid abuse, steroids. It's like, look, like, there's pro wrestlers that take steroids, there's some that don't, and you know what you're risking and what you're getting into the moment you start taking it. Like,
right.
you could have a heart attack when you're 40 and die from that, as many professional wrestlers did. So that's the risk you take when you kind of jumpstart your body like that. So
right.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? In all likelihood, because I know you're really in tune with comics and things like that, where do you think this story is going, and for the broader scope of the MCU? Because I've been reading articles that John Walker's action and what he's doing is essentially setting up something larger in the MCU. I feel Thunderbolts. I don't think it's going to be Dark Avengers, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like some form of Thunderbolts with
probably
General Ross. But what do you think?
Well, in terms of the show, I think what happens next, because I remember seeing behind the scenes picture showing of him like kneeling down, like on his knees with the bloody shield, like contemplating what he did. So most likely next episode, especially if we only got like 2 more episodes left, most likely that episode is, if I'm thinking about it correct, is when he will either give up the shield, or Sam and then will take the shield or something like that. But either way, I think his days as Captain America are numbered by like the beginning.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
By like the beginning or the middle of next episode. And in terms of the wider MCU, I have, fun fact actually, I saw a behind the scenes photo from the filming of Spider-Man No Way Home, and there was actually a poster referencing the thing happening in Falcon Winter Soldier, with the Statue of Liberty holding Captain America's shield. So I guess we'll see what that goes, but I'm guessing the ramifications of, like, can we just let our heroes be judge, jury, and executioner will definitely be felt throughout the rest of the MCU going forward. I guess I think maybe this is why Falcon and Winter Soldier was meant to happen first before WandaVision, and why it takes place before the events of Spider-Man Far From Home. Is like, we just dealt with everything we did in the entire Infinity Saga, which dealt with, again, assembling this universe of characters that we know. Now it's like, okay, how does the world react to them now?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, the post Avengers situation is going to be we're dealing with the ramifications of it. We're dealing with the ramifications of there not being a Captain America, but on top of that, as the show has eloquently pointed out, is the fact that 5 years of people not being on this planet suddenly coming back as well. That's a whole nother thing that they've been talking about. And I think one of the things that gets sort of passed over on this situation a lot is the fact that Carly mentioned it, but it hasn't been like because I've read that because of Corona, a lot of the main plot was actually taken out in terms of the Flag Smashers story. There was a side story, or there was supposed to be one of the main stories with the Flag Smashers was the issue that when people were brought back, somehow through nature, a virus was going around killing people worldwide. Yeah, exactly. Sounds familiar, right?
I can see why they cut that.
Yeah. So one of the side stories was like a very corona-ish virus was going around killing people, because it was like something very similar to the that movie with Tom Cruise, and the flowers were creating the virus and killing people. But anyways, but one of the things that Carly mentions is the fact that in the show vaguely, briefly mentioned was the fact that when when Thanos snapped away half the Earth, all the borders were opened up, and they're like, "Yo, we just need people. Let's rebuild the Earth. Let's forget all of the past grievances, and we just need people." When they came back, okay, thanks, bye, you're out of here, like that.
Yeah, I think we actually did see a small bit of that in the beginning, like after the 5 year jump in Endgames. Like, we actually saw and got references to the world is somewhat doing better, maybe even a little bit better than it was before the snap. We got support groups, we got oceans clearing up and things like that. And yeah, I definitely in times of crisis, and I think that's definitely because when I think about that, I also think back to a little bit to 9/11, how when that event happened, the whole world just came together. Similar
Yep.
thing.
People stop hating New York and New Yorkers. Suddenly, New Yorkers weren't all as irritating as anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's very similar. Yeah, I can definitely see that. And again, I definitely have to agree with the show, and also what Sam said is I get where Carly's coming from. I get why she's doing it. I just can't get with the way that she is handling it. It could be handled in a way better way, and I think that's why most likely Sam will be getting the shield at the end, because they need is there a need for a Captain America? I think that there's been a damn good reason why there's always a Captain America in the comics. Whether it be Steve or Bucky or Sam or John, the reason there's always been a Captain America is because they need a symbol who can understand the people, rather than it just be about flexing your power.
Yeah.
Steve understood that for his time. Bucky understood it after Steve got assassinated. Sam understood that after Steve lost the serum. Everyone understood it in their own way, and there was always a need for Captain America to be the voice of the people. Kind of like how Spider-Man is the voice of New York and his neighborhood, Captain America is the voice of the people rather than the government.
I see. What exactly do you think Carly wants? Not necessarily Carly, but the Flag Smashers, because we're seeing them for more of the terroristic side, and I definitely think Carly has made terrible mistakes as well, blowing people up in the building and all that.
Yeah.
But it looks like she's also pulling some Robin Hood type stuff at the same time, because let's not forget the same people that she blew up in that building were hoarding food and supplies for people on the other side. So, yes, they've been labeled as terrorists, but at the same time, what we've seen their side of the people that they're robbing from and the people that they're doing things from have been hoarding supplies that for people that have needed it, for much needed type people. But that's what exactly are they trying to do? I know what their beliefs are, but what exactly is Carly's what is she trying to do here? Just get away from the power broker?
Well, knowing of the original Flag Smasher, because Carly as a character is entirely MCU created, but the Flag Smasher, as we know, is of course from the comics. The original Flag Smasher, and I just reread a bunch of Flag Smasher history the other day, is that they basically just wanted, as said multiple times in the show, one world, one people. They don't want a world filled with borders. They don't want a world where you can be respected in one country but then disrespected in another. They don't want that. They basically want unity, which, thinking about that, was technically kind of in a way how things were after Thanos snapped his fingers. And so, which kind of actually makes it very clever to why they brought the Flag Smashers as the villains of this season. I think definitely what she just wants is a world of peace and a world where there's no
peace by violence.
Peace by
the way of violence.
Again, I can't get by how she's doing it, but I understand why. No racism, no borders, no poverty, things like that. Like, basically a better world. She's going at it the wrong way, but she basically wants a better world, which is what we all want. But it's very difficult to do that. So.
I guess Thanos should have just killed us all. Like, I don't know, man. Is that the trend coming back? Is Thanos just should have killed us all? Is that what it is? Like,
I guess.
I mean, he wasn't even wrong about that.
I guess hashtag Thanos is right. It's coming back. Then I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Here's one. So, do you guys think that Sam will go back and talk to Isaiah by the end of the show? I'm going to say no. He might go back and not mention it, or he might see Isaiah in some fashion, like just kind of give a nod to him or something like that. But I don't think I don't think they're gonna spend time with 2 episodes left. I don't think they're ever gonna spend time have a one-on-one black man talk or something like that. He might see Isaiah at a barbershop or something like that, You're gonna be in Harlem. You're gonna be going by Luke Cage, or what was that called? Switzerland. They might see a rebuilt Switzerland, and everybody's gonna think it's another nod to Luke Cage coming back. And he might see Isaiah up here. Get in my house, and he'll have the shield, and it'll be like, brother man, and then Isaiah will just be like nodding to him, and then you're gonna see the Patriot, or what is his name? Isaiah's nephew.
God, I am forgetting. I am forgetting what his nephew's name is. But I know what you're
what the
talking
hell
about.
is his name? But yeah, we're well. I only know him as the Patriot, but whatever his name is, the kid, the nephew, he'll probably be there looking at Falcon as well. So maybe, but I don't think they're gonna. Pop's Barbershop. There you go. All right, there you go.
Well, Rowan. Well, first off, now that you put that in my head, I now want at the end of the series a scene like Luke Cage season 2, just him walking down the street and all these women checking him out. I just need that to happen to say.
I mean, it just might happen. So hold on, Isaiah Bradley's. I'm looking it up right now.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give my response to Ronan. In terms of seeing Isaiah again, I think what might happen is, again, if Sam most likely takes out the shield, that we might. Maybe not Sam goes to him, but we may get a look back at him. Maybe just, I think in the best case scenario, and especially with how Isaiah is in the comics, is like, it's like in his history, sooner or later, the world finds out about who he is, and he basically becomes a celebrity in that moment, and he becomes more respected, and he is better living off. So I think at the end,
Elijah, by the way,
there it is.
Yeah, Elijah. The Black Captain America.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyways, I think that whether or not he tells the world about who he is or not, he gets better living or not, I think the ramifications of this may lead to his grandson becoming Patriot, like his grandson being inspired by what Sam did, which leads to Patriot, which leads to, of course, we already have Kate Bishop out there, the Young Avengers most likely coming, or the Champions, whichever incarnation they want to do of them.
What is the Champions?
The Champions, that came out of the second Civil War in the comics,
Ah.
and it was a team created with Kamala Khan, Miles Morales, and Sam Alexander, who was Nova, which was basically to be the heroes the world needed at that moment. And they were basically Marvel's new premier team. Along with them was Amadeus Cho, who was best friends with Hercules and became
Right.
a teenage version of the Hulk. Vision's daughter, Viv Vision, a young time-displaced version of Cyclops. Ironheart, Hank Pym's secret Russian daughter, Nadia Pym, who became the Wasp. I know a lot has happened. And a bunch of other characters. Even Patriot became part of the team as well. Yeah.
Interesting. I see. Who won Civil War II, by the way?
Captain Marvel.
Did anybody win?
Captain Marvel basically won. But, I mean, that's only because she kind of almost killed Tony. I mean,
Wow.
there was basically, all right, basically just to lay it out. So, do you know what Civil War II was about?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, Inhuman who had the ability to see the future had a vision that Miles Morales was going to kill Steve Rogers. Tony was like, okay, look, this is a kid. I've been fighting alongside this kid for a couple months now. He's good. He's not going to do some shit like that. But Carol's like, I need to stop that as soon as possible. It ends up in a fight in Washington, D.C. Steve and Miles are trying to get them to cut it out. Carol is basically fighting Tony, who's in a giant Hulkbuster war machine suit. And and the Inhumans, the Guardians of the Galaxy, who were also there at that time, Carol's team, the Ultimates, a bunch of the Avengers, they tried to stop her, but she blew up Tony. She blasted Tony out of his suit, and he basically kind of died. He went into a coma, basically, but almost died. He would have died if he hadn't done experiments to his body, basically.
Interesting. Okay. Wait, is that what leads to Tony Stark being the hologram with
Riri Williams? Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at right now. People are like, "Oh, there were no winners, just losers in this battle." Like, I guess.
God.
Like, here it is with Miles and
that scene.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Damn. So, looks like Tony be taking L's every time there's a civil war going on. Like, this dude. Yeah.
I mean, he did come back. He did come back, thankfully, because I mean, who dies in comics anymore?
Right. All right.
I mean, unless you're Uncle Ben, you don't stay dead.
Nobody stays dead, but nobody stays dead than Bucky, and that got recalled. So, yeah, I understand. Well, sounds good. What are you looking forward to for the next 2 episodes of Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
What I'm looking forward to is basically the ramifications of what John did, and basically, I feel like what John did is definitely going to spark into Sam like, oh shit, I should not have done what I did before. America does need a symbol. And I think this is definitely something that was shown before in the trailers. Like there was one scene with Bucky and Sam, most likely at like Sam's dock, and saying people need something to get behind.
Right.
So I think that's about to happen. He's about to realize, yeah, I need to be Captain America. John kind of fucked it up. The people need a symbol right now. And I'm the one that has mostly gotten to Carly a little bit. She trusts me in some instances. So you know what? Maybe it's time I just pick up that shield. And I swear, if at the end of next episode, we get the reveal of the Falcon Captain America suit, I'm going to record my reaction and you're going to see it.
I mean, we still, there's like, they kind of, from the first image of the show we actually saw was Sam training with the shield. So that's what we haven't seen that yet. So I hope, I agree with you. I hope that happens. And in all likelihood, I think we are going to get a new suit reveal. I don't know who's going to make him that suit, and I don't know if the government's going to be backing him or anything like that. But I mean, there's a lot to throw in. Is John just going to be like Carly and just go underground? Like he's just gonna, he's gonna drop the shield or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Well, anyways, J King, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, but it's good to have a discussion about, the difference between Steve Rogers, America's ass, and John Walker, an American ass.
An American ass, exactly. Civil War, the battle of the captains.
Cap v. Cap.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man, this is crazy. All right, Matt, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Later, Matt. All right, guys. Cap versus Cap, Civil War. That is pretty dope, though. I will say this dude went pretty hard on this, man. I really do like the way they did this one. Very well done. Very well done. Where did oh shit, Dublin, thank you for resubscribing. Oh, actually, that's very appropriate. Oh, you know what? Maybe it won't work. Oh, never mind. It won't work. Sorry. I can't play the movie for you. I was going to do it, but it doesn't make any sense. So sorry. All right, guys. Well, we don't have anybody else in queue here. So I guess it's going to be an early stream if you guys don't want to call. But you can, by all means, you don't have to call in with a web camera. You can just use audio only. It seems that more people call in that way when it's audio. So you guys can log in and you can just do audio only off of your smartphones or whatever. So by all means, go ahead and call in if you want. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up here. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to voice your opinions. And let us know what you're thinking about it, because there's a lot of brave, a lot of keyboard warriors that want to say what they got to say. And like I said, I had to get the ban hammer out on Twitter yesterday if they want to talk that kind of mess. But I always feel like this is definitely the measure of a man or woman to actually call in, say what you want to say what you got to say. I personally don't try to set up any sort of environment where it's just only fans only agreeing with me and everything. I'm always up for hearing different sort of opinions on this situation, but supporting John Walker and what he did, if you can't see how morally wrong that is, then seek help. What is this? Is there going to be a big call-in discussion with Logan and John by the end of the show? No. There's no plans. I mean, originally they were going to have this discussion. They were going to be talking about this episode on the Film K, but I can't wait till Thursday for that one. Yeah. Why are people saying that John Walker is right? I mean, in my opinion, from what I've seen, and my apologies, guys, I think they're doing some hedge trimming outside, so that's what you guys are hearing right now. So my apologies about that. Or they're trying to break into my house, man. I'm trying to tell you guys the truth. I'm trying to educate your mind here. What was I saying? I forgot. Okay, why are people saying that John Walker is right? Because like from what I've seen, exactly, John Walker is a patriot. From what I've seen, it's just a lot of it's an edgelord take. Like it's almost the same people that are dope. They're like, yeah, I like Batman killing, makes him edgier, makes him cooler, like that. It's like, all right, now I like him murdering people left and right like this. Yeah. What did he say? I watched Invincible first. They expected Falcon Winter Soldier to be action palette cleanser with the PG violence this weekend, and I was so wrong. I agree with you. Yeah, that was rough, man. All right, here we go. Magano, what's up, man?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
How's it going?
What's up, man?
So, in terms of John Walker,
yeah,
I don't think what he did was right. He shouldn't have done it. but I do, in a sense, see where he's coming from in terms of like, you know, he saw his buddy get killed and
Absolutely.
going on a rampage like that. I thought he was literally going to kill everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised like Carly was still alive after that. But some people like I've debated with about this, like in other servers and stuff, and even in yours. But like, I believe had Tony Stark killed Bucky, Cap would have killed him. Because
Okay, what? So what time point are we talking about, though? Are we talking about that point with Zemo?
Yeah, no.
Civil War.
So basically, yeah, it's Civil War where Zemo shows Tony the footage of Bucky killing his parents, and you know Tony goes ape shit, almost kills him. It takes off his arm, and then you see after you know he takes off Bucky's arm, fucking Cap goes fucking ham before Tony reads his moves enough. But like.
Right.
Especially towards the end of the battle too, like when Cap had the shield and he put it right through his arc reactor. He's lucky he just did that, because if he had actually killed Bucky, I guarantee you he would have went for the head.
Interesting.
Like John Walker did.
That's an interesting take. Like I would. It's like. When you first said that, I'm like, what? No, because because you can see how Steve was actually trying to restrain Tony,
right?
And but
he was trying to calm him down,
but that point, maybe it's coincidental, maybe it's it's coincidental when But you have a good point. Right after Bucky lost his arm, got unibeamed off.
He went completely apeshit on Tony.
Cap was like,
I
okay,
had
let's
a strong
go.
feeling like if he had actually killed Bucky, it would have broken him. You know, like Lamar was John Walker's breaking point. I think Bucky would have been Steve's.
Interesting. Would Steve Rogers had killed Iron Man? It's easy for us to say no.
Right.
At this point, it's easy for us to say no. Hell no, Steve would have never done that.
He has all the morals, and he's our Captain America.
Yeah. We've seen what that is. Yeah, but at the same time, we saw like the entire movie was dedicated to Bucky Steve stopping anybody from hurting Bucky.
He went as far as to run from the law and shit. So.
Right. Exactly. Like to go against everything. So that's an interesting thought process here. But what I will say, okay, even I still think it would have ended the same way, though. What I mean is that Steve Rogers is a man who would give up being Captain America. He gave up being Captain America.
Right.
After saving Bucky, he gave up everything.
Well, after Tony said that,
the
shield doesn't belong to you and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he was just like, look, I'm just not worthy. Like, he was like, you know what? Tony is actually kind of right. I mean, and rewatching Civil War recently, I realized that Steve doesn't actually disagree. Steve doesn't disregard what Tony is saying most of the time. He just fundamentally cannot go through with it. And I think part of Steve actually realizes that he knows he's kind of in the wrong. Like he said that he kind of not necessarily hinted to it, but he alluded to the fact that sometimes I wish I could, and sometimes he said he knows he's not trying to make things difficult, but he just fundamentally sees things going a different way, which I think all of us can agree with the Sokovia Accords. However, it was the better choice versus what Steve was doing, and in some sense you could argue that there's parts of Steve that would probably sort of be on Carly's side.
About the Sokovia Accords real quick. With that, I just feel like a lot of that was Tony's fault, like especially with Ultron. Like that whole issue in Sokovia was mainly Ultron, right? So, and them having to go there and stop him and stuff. But it's like Tony made Ultron, with Banner. But it's like I feel like he threw his team under the bus a bit with that. Also, like, what's the dude's name? Thunderbolt Ross, who somehow became Secretary of State, or I wonder how, his corrupt ass. But like he basically, he had that whole slideshow of like the world events that happened throughout the timeline and stuff. One of them was the Washington attack on DC that was against what was it, Shield versus Hydra in Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And they somehow he blamed that on like Steve Rogers or the Avengers or whatever, but it's like that was Hydra, bro. It was like literally a government versus terrorist organization like who took over that like corporation or whatever. But it's like, how are you going to blame that on the Avengers?
Right. No. It was a big guilt trip, and then on top of that, like what was Amanda Waller doing up there behind that TED Talk? Anyways, like how'd she get clearance for that? Like, wait a second, like okay, now like I've always felt like that whole thing with Amanda Waller or Viola Davis. I always felt like that was kind of a plant or some sort of setup. Even in the comic books, that same thing, it just felt like way too inconvenient. Like, okay, of all times now.
Are you talking about that woman that was talking to Tony?
Yeah, the grieving mother, basically.
Yeah, that was it wasn't Viola Davis, it was the woman who played forgot her name on Luke Cage, but the woman who owned
oh damn, that's not the same person? Okay, yeah, I know what you're oops. Okay.
Cottonmouth's sister.
Yeah. Wait, I thought that was Viola Davis that entire time. No. Alfred Woodward. Okay. Oh damn, my bad.
Yeah.
I legit thought that was Viola Davis from Suicide Squad, and I was like, "Ooh, crossover." Okay, no, but yeah. So, like, I always thought that there was kind of a plant there, like they were like setting up Tony for like that grievance, like to get him on the side of signing the Accords and things like that. So, but at the same time, it's kind of just like, look, like Ultron, that's kind of Tony Stark's child.
Even he's like, oh, my bad. It's like, bro.
We need to be put in check.
And you got to realize too, like even after Civil War, all the people that were on Team Iron Man switched over to Team Cap, during the course of the events of Infinity War and Endgame, even because like Infinity War, you had Vision, going to see Wanda from time to time. Like he knew where she was, but he didn't go to arrest her or send her to the authorities or whatever. You had Black Panther after finding out the truth about what happened to his dad, covering for Steve and Bucky, in Wakanda. And you also had Black Widow who turned on, Team Iron Man. Basically, the only person that Tony really had was Spider-Man, because War Machine, even in Infinity War, he knew, he was working with them and shit. So all he had was Spider-Man. And Spider-Man didn't even know what he was, what the fuck was going on. Right, he didn't even explain.
I wouldn't say they necessarily turned on Tony, but they essentially just were not like
turned in the sense that they helped him out. You know what I mean? Like they didn't...
right. But what I would say is like they just didn't want to be they didn't want to be on the run like the rest of them and everything. So like I get what you're trying to say, but I think at the same time like they just like they were mentally like almost everybody other than Black Panther was really not in that fighting capability outside of Spider-Man and Tony like that. But my
question is, why didn't they turn them in then? If that was the case, because if they were truly on board with the Sokovia Accords, especially Rhodey when in Civil War, when he said that, I signed those accords because it was the right thing to do.
Right.
And, they were going out of their way to arrest, Team Cap.
Well, no, right.
It's like, how come they didn't re-arrest him?
Right, but signing, I get it. But okay, I kind of see what you're saying. But signing the Accords because it's the right thing to do. Yes, getting having policies put into place and getting people under control, but not necessarily. That doesn't mean like going with your not being a snitch and not turning in your friends. Like I'm fine with accepting at this moment in time that marijuana is illegal. But that doesn't mean, and I'm fine with that. Yeah,
that's what they turned on their friends anyway during Civil War.
By signing the Accords?
No, by joining with Iron Man and shit, stopping them from saving Winter Soldier or whatever. Because like Rhodey, even when he was on the run from Black Panther at the beginning, that Rhodey was like, "Oh, congratulations, Cap, you're a criminal." And it's like that whole fight could have been easily been like. If they talked about it more, I think if they had talked about it more, it could have been settled like better. Like,
well, I think that's But I know what you're saying, but I think that was the entire point of like Steve's situation was like, look, like you can talk all you want, but the end result is none of these people are going to be able to figure out how to fix Bucky, and none of these people, most of these people are looking to just execute Bucky, kill him. They need a scapegoat. They need somebody to lock up. You know, he just like King T'Chaka and the UN just got blown up. We need something that's going to please something. And, you know, these lawmakers, and that's kind of the brilliance of Civil War, is that as years go by and as real life events happen, you start to see a lot of what Steve, like I'm still Team Iron Man on this situation, but a lot of what Steve was saying is like lawmakers have agendas and agendas change. And that was the whole thing, was like they didn't care about fixing Bucky. They just cared about executing Bucky or getting results like that. So
that's the problem. That's why I'm Team Cap, because I'm not down with that shit. Changing laws and shit just because.
But here's was the thing was like laws are just a defining way of how a government runs and such, and that was one of the biggest issues with at that time with Civil War. Is like, you know, if anything, WandaVision just taught us literally how dangerous Wanda really is. And you know, she was kind of the trigger moment over in it wasn't Sokovia, it was Lagos. You know, killing some of the Wakandans and
the same thing they blamed you know, the whole Age of Ultron thing for.
And like, you know, that was the thing, was like, so they needed to put her in check a bit, and she needed to be restricted, she needed to be trained properly, and you know, WandaVision, if anything, proves that, you know, Tony was somewhat right about
Here's
this.
The thing with that though, like how much in terms of the Sokovia Accords, how much, and this is like one of my biggest problems with it, like how much of like government control would be there, because like
I agree with you.
You know how the government is today, like they won't
I agree
stop.
with you, and that was also that was also the biggest problem, was like, okay, so Tony, you know, and Rhodey is right. It sucks. It's a raw deal, but it was the right thing to do. But I think all of them were very aware that, like, well, how much restriction are we getting? What type of restriction are we talking about? But it was better than completely going against everything and going rogue. Like, if anything, that came a little too natural to Steve. Like we said earlier, his second movie, he was already against the government. Then the third movie, he was once again against, like, he was going rogue. And I was like, damn, okay, Captain. All right. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting theoretical balance you can play. But, you know, and I guess coming full circle back here with John Walker, there is no sort of understanding for
with him. With him and the government, he's a government lapdog, pretty much.
Basically.
I still think they're gonna cover for him somehow. Come the next.
It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting if that's what happens. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm also because in this movie we haven't gotten any sort of like press secretary, or not movie, in this story we haven't really gotten any sort of like press secretary or anybody kind of calling the shots behind John Walker in terms of like a suit. So there's nobody that would like suddenly just show up and be like, okay, well, we're just gonna retire Captain America for a little bit, and then you become US agent or something like that. I think whatever actions we see next will be under John's actions himself. I think.
I got another take as well.
Yeah.
In terms of Falcon becoming Captain America, I don't want that to happen.
Say it one more time?
I said, in terms of Falcon becoming Captain America, I don't want that to happen.
Okay.
And the reason being is because why can't Falcon just be good as Falcon? Because I noticed, especially during episode 2, them looking at him and Bucky as just like wingmen for Captain America. I don't like that shit. I feel like Falcon has been in the Avengers long enough to where he's his own guy, just like Iron Man's his own guy, just like Black Widow's his own guy. If fucking Hawkeye can be his own guy, why can't fucking Falcon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you have a good point about that. It's like, yeah,
rather him stay the original character rather than being, the legacy character of Steve Rogers. It's like,
I see. Like, there's a theory that he's really just he's going to kind of like make it his own. I mean,
also, it wasn't an original opinion I had. It was a lot of thinking about it because I know, other people have mentioned this before me, but before I was like, oh, it doesn't matter either way, if it's Bucky or if it's Falcon or Sam, I should say, doesn't really matter. But I've been more against it now just because of that. It's just like, yeah, I'd rather you stay original because I'm against it with other characters as well going that route. So it's like,
yeah, it's funny. Like I haven't really given it much thought at all because I'm not too caught up with Falcon's run as Captain America, but I know he wasn't really so government either. It's like I think he like the one thing I remember from the times I read him being Captain America was he was like, look, I have the shield. I'm kind of Captain America, but I'm still Sam, and I'm still doing things my way. Basically, like he wasn't trying to imitate Captain America, and he made it very clear.
Didn't John Walker though in episode 2 when he first showed up and started talking? Didn't he say the same thing?
Oh, I'm not trying to replace him. Yeah. So John Walker
trying to be his own Captain America as well.
Which we can see how well that's going.
Yeah, it's not going good. But I feel like that's something that people forgot. That he wasn't trying to be like a carbon copy of Steve, like he never said he was.
Correct.
So we just saw him as like an inspiration, and that
I get it. Well, all right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for calling in. Yeah, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Later. All right, DC fanboy, what's up, man?
What is up?
What's going on, man? What you think about all this mess going on in Marvel world?
So the answer to the basic question, was it justified? Yes and no. For his motive, was his motive justified? Yes. You know why? His best friend basically died, his partner died. I see why he did it. Should he have done it? Probably not. Especially in front of a group of people. That's definitely if he did it privately, maybe it would have been different, but especially everybody recorded it, caught in 4K. The shield was covered in blood. It's not a good look now. So, and the one of the best things I can say about the show is I don't know where it's going. WandaVision, I kind of get where it's going. I know where it was kind of going. Obviously, they would find out who's behind this. We'd find out if it was her or someone else, and then sets up Doctor Strange and stuff. But for this show, I don't know how it's gonna end. Because for one thing, this show could get itself. I can see this having a second season. WandaVision's a one-off season, but I can see this having a second season, especially since there's so much set up now. Not just you have the Power Broker recently set up. You still don't know who he is, and you have the Flag Smashers who are the main villains. You still have Zemo on the loose right now. You have this John Walker situation. You have Wakanda trying to get Zemo. So there's so much, and there's 2 episodes left. So some of this stuff, not all this stuff can be resolved in 2 episodes. So some stuff's going to be left over. And I feel like they're going to wrap up the Flag Smashers and the Wakanda thing with Zemo. But I think with the John Walker stuff, there's definitely enough material for a second season.
Yeah, I agree. I hope it's building up, and I definitely hope that we are built. Obviously nothing has really been confirmed, and I guess especially with WandaVision, we haven't really seen much yet. But I hope that on the side they are building up to something of a Disney Plus version of a team up sort of show, in the next year or something like that. We see something kind of leading up, with the Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. We got Wanda's kids, possibly. Like you said, with John Walker, there's a lot of side stories that can be produced from there. So yeah, for sure. West Coast Avengers, somebody's already mentioning.
Oh, West Coast, or even better, Young Avengers. It's heavily being said.
I thought about Young Avengers.
Yeah, you got Wiccan and Speed. You got you might get Patriot, since they in episode 2 they got the son of Morales. What was his first name?
Miles Morales?
No, not Miles.
Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, Isaiah. Sorry, Isaiah.
You're talking about actually the nephew.
Oh, nephew. Sorry. Yeah. So that's
Elijah.
That's Patriot right there. You got Kate Bishop as a new Hawkeye. So they're slowly like giving us like young Avengers. So either a movie or a show. And I feel like the shows are definitely setting up the movies and stuff because like they're all build up. Like they're all setting up new characters. You have Miss Marvel also for Young Avengers.
Yeah. We got that going. Young Avengers would also be very interesting to watch as well. Yeah. But I definitely feel like some of the generations are breaking down as well. Like, Tony is gone, Steve is gone, Thor is somewhat getting replaced. It'll be very interesting to see where they're headed on that side.
Yeah, that's mostly phase 4 and maybe 5. Like, I think like this whole phase is like, that's why there's no Avengers yet. Cause like we're making the new Avengers. Like eventually we're going to have like all new characters. We're going to have a new Thor, which is going to be Jane. We're going to have a new Hawkeye. We're going to have a new Cap, maybe. We're going to have a new Iron Man with Iron Heart. You got Spider-Man. Strange. Yeah. So you're eventually, I think it's going to be like all new Avengers. Like at one point, like there's not going to be one original, like not even like Rhodey or like Chris Hemsworth Thor. Like it's going to be like completely different in like phase 5 and 6.
You know what? After 10 years, because we're already on year 11 or 12 now, but after 10 years, I think that's more than enough deserved. Like, 10 years of we spent building of what we got with in-game, but then, you spend the next 1 or 2 years building up a new direction without letting us know, because I think that's one of the things that kind of bothered me a lot about the MCU's slate was it was like very obvious where they were going. And so for like a good 5 movies, I wasn't really even interested in a lot of 5 of those movies, like Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, or Captain Marvel, because I already knew we were headed toward Civil War. I knew we were headed toward Infinity War, and then of course Endgame. So my enthusiasm for those shows or movies were not as high. I definitely hope that we develop a direction of for the next year or so of just having shows that we don't know where those pieces are coming together until it's too late. So finally, when they do announce something, we're like, oh, that's what they were building all along. That's the reason they had Wanda's kids were around, and that's the reason John Walker did something on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's all been being built from from the background or something like that. So yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah,
that's what Marvel does at its best. Like
I agree.
It's such a deep universe at this point. Like anything, like basically that's why we got stuff like Mephisto and stuff. That's like this universe is so deep that like you can just theorize. Like they're definitely eventually any character can come in from the comics, and like I wish that happened with other franchises, DC. But in the future.
No. They just make a 4-hour movie and just throw everything in there without any sort of context being built up to it. Yeah, why not? Just give all your best stories in one movie, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Anyways.
Do you think they might do the Dark Avengers? Because you have if he becomes U.S. agent. Then you have that as a leader. Like evil Captain America as a leader. You get like evil, different like evil versions of different characters. You have Armor Wars, so you can get like an evil Iron Man from that. Whoever the villain is in Armor Wars. If they get the rights to Venom, you can have Venom, like Agent Venom, in there. And there's like a lot of possibilities.
I want them to do Dark Avengers, but I don't want them to do Dark Avengers without some sort of they got to get Norman Osborn in there, or if they can't do if they don't do Norman Osborn, then they gotta because that's the thing is you got to remember like a lot of the anything that's remotely Spider-Man related, Marvel was not going to go 100% on with it because that's just too complicated, and they don't need another battle of licensing debates like that. So that's the reason why when it comes to like core MCU, we only see Spider-Man cameoing and not really being that intricate to it. Now on the reverse, in the Spider-Man stories, we see full MCU because they're dependent upon those sort of stories. But for example, Norman Osborn, there's no way we're ever going to get a Dark Avengers story with Norman Osborn at the helm, because the last thing that Marvel needs to worry about is what Sony pulling another contract war, and then now their other show is also in jeopardy, if that makes sense, right? So if they get a Norman Osborn archetype, like I would love to see I don't know if it will work though, but like Doctor Doom running the Dark Avengers or something like that. But Doom's never been that sort of dude that would like to run a team. He's been in the Dark Illuminati, but that's about it. So yeah, I don't know. Like without Norman Osborn type of person doing Dark Avengers, I don't know if it would if it would work the same way, because who essentially would be evil Iron Man? That's the thing.
Maybe the villain in Armor Wars. I don't know that much about that story, so I don't know if like there's like I feel like it'd be like Justin Hammer or something in Armor Wars as a villain, but I'm not sure. We have to like find out when that show comes out. Because like
somebody is saying that Dark Avengers set up by Thunderbolt Ross, but led by
that's also what people are saying. Yeah, they're also saying if it's not Dark Avengers, it's going to be the Thunderbolts, and it'll be led by Zemo, if depending on what happens at the end of the season. Because maybe he has an alternative plan. Depends. We have to see.
I see, but I don't know, because the thing. No, I would say you're better off calling them something else. Then, like you can call them the Avengers or something like that, or the Revengers or whatever. But the whole thing, though, the thing about Dark Avengers was the fact that like these guys legitimately were bad guys. Like that's what made it crazy, was these dudes were there was no shred of decency in any of these people, and that's what made the Dark Avengers so interesting and kind of funny, was the fact that they were villains posing as good guys, where in the people that we're talking about subjectively are just people that have crossed the line, or they can't be heroes, but they're not necessarily completely villainous either. That's the thing. So like I do agree that somewhere down the line we might get some sort of like doppelganger type story, but I don't know if it would be Dark Avengers though. Yeah,
I agree with you, what you say about like the like how much they're villains, because that's like that is one of the issues I have with Marvel's, like the way they handle their villains. Like they've been better, like they've made better villains, but like the way that they're evil, like sometimes they kind of cheat themselves, and I'm seeing that in this show also. Like for an example, like the Flag Smashers, like they have a good motive. Like I understand their motive. Like I know that they want a world, like they said the world was better without the blip, and like they want a world without borders, and like that's justifiable. And like the thing is, like then every once in a while, like the show makes them do things that make you like that remind you that they're villains. Like when she blew up that one place with all the people, and like when she threatened Sam's family, like they have to like just they have to put some things in there to show you, that to remind you that they're villain. Like it's like they're kind of scared. They're kind of scared to make them like people like, yo, I might be on their side, instead of maybe like Sam and Bucky are in the wrong, but no, they just have to they got to make it like a straight up villain. Same thing with John Walker.
Okay. I was just reading. Though I was just looking right now, is the fact that in some version of Dark Avengers, the US agent was leading that. I don't know about that story. The only Dark Avengers I know is the Norman Osborn led one.
Yeah, when I looked it up, like it was led by US agent. And
really? Okay, so maybe that's a whole different story that I'm not familiar with.
If you can't get Norman Osborn, and you just replace it with U.S. agent.
Well, I think the U.S. agent version is a little different. Like because that's a completely different team. I'm like, again, the lineup for Dark Avengers that I remember was essentially damn, I don't even remember who was playing Miss Marvel. Who was I don't know, but it was Norman Osborn. Then Hercules was basically the Thor version, and then Draken, Wolverine's son.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Was playing Wolverine, and then Bullseye was Hawkeye, and then Gark, the Scorpion with the Venom symbiote was playing Spider-Man.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, Moonstone was playing Miss Marvel. Okay, so but basically the thing was, all of them were hella evil. And that's what made it funny, was that all of them were hella evil. Like literally Venom was eating people before every mission. It was like, what? Like,
Yeah,
And,
Marvel
like,
not doing that.
yeah. So I don't think they'll ever go down this route, but this other team, I don't know what the hell this is, but yeah, maybe it's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah. Moonstone. Yeah. Oh, how about having the Mandarin as evil Iron Man? Possibly. I guess we'll know more after the Shang-Chi 10 Rings story comes out. That's possible.
Yeah,
Very
now
possible.
in September instead of July.
Right. Yeah. All right, DC fanboy. I appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks for having me. Take
Thank
care.
you for calling in. Yeah. Oh, actually, real quick, what do you think about since I know by your avatar, what do you think about this whole the Batman being set in Earth 2?
The thing is, I think I know what they're trying to do. Like they're trying to like figure out like what the like Justice League is now, because like obviously you have the Snyder Cut, which is like the Snyderverse is done, and they're trying new things like with the Suicide Squad, and like I said in like a previous like Q&A or whatever you call it, like I talked about how like they don't know what they want to do, if like they want to like have the Justice League, because like all the movies after that have been like standalone, like Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, like they're in this universe technically, but they just don't want to like have the characters like there. Like they can say their names, but they can't show up. Like Superman, like you can't show him. You can't have Batman and Birds of Prey, even though it would make sense since his villain's there. And so what I think is going on is actually I recommend there's a video you should watch if you haven't seen it already. You know Film Theory, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you see his Snyder Cut video?
Probably not.
No, okay, so listen, you should watch it. Like either react to it or watch it on your own time. But like he did a really good video about how he thinks he knows what they did, what Warner Brothers is trying to do with the Snyder Cut. So listen, he said that the Snyder Cut is the successful version of the Nightmareverse, and that the Justice League is the failed version of the Justice League. Because like you know how you see Nightmare Vision and at the end of the Snyder Cut, like in the epilogue, and you see that like Superman like turned evil and stuff.
Yeah.
He said because in the Justice League, Darkseid's not seen at all. He's not referenced by Steppenwolf or anybody. They don't even see him through the portal like in Snyder Cut. And Bruce never talks about how Flash went back in time. He said like because that's the part where they don't know about Darkseid, so that's why Darkseid's able to do that, because they don't know, they're not aware of him and they're not prepared for him. But in the Snyder Cut, Bruce knows about him going back in time. He says he knows Lois is the key, and they see Darkseid, so they're ready for him. Okay. So he's saying like, yo, if DC is smart with this Flashpoint movie, Flash could like mix, like he can do whatever he wants with the Snyderverse. Like they can make the Justice League either from the Snyder Cut or the Justice League, or they can combine different characters like Robert Pattinson. So like if DC is smart, like they can actually like have like their cake and eat it too. Like they can have both. They can make the Justice League canon. Yeah, Justice League can be canon and Snyderverse can be canon. And can,
basically like, picking and choosing, right? I mean, the problem is Flashpoint is such a like Deus Machina. It's been well, I won't say it's been overused because we haven't seen Flashpoint used in cinema yet, but it you know, Flashpoint is such a tool that the DC has kind of used a little too many times, which is kind of funny because I'm pretty sure Jeff Johns wrote Flashpoint as well, which is, you know, to his credit, helped reset a lot of different things in the DC comics. So yeah, it will, like I think we're giving Warner Brothers way too much credit. That's the problem. Like for a movie that has been reset, has its own internal flashpoints, 2 or 3 or 4 times, I think. This movie, the Flash movie, I think we're giving a little too much credit that Warner knows what they're doing in terms of making a capable story that's going to help their entire franchise out. Yeah.
And it's easy to understand why there's like 5 directors that left. It's not because like it's a hard script to write. I mean, it's like the Flash, you have years of comics. The problem is they're probably being forced. Every director's probably like being told by Warner Brothers, like, yo, we're gonna need you to reboot this universe. We're gonna need you to help make this sense. Like they give them like a bunch of scripts. Like, yeah, we fucked up right here. Could you can you try and fix this, please?
Yep.
And that's what makes me mad. Like I'm like honestly, because I love the Flash. He used to be like my favorite DC hero actually. Like as a kid, like I always read his comics the most. And so like it disappoints me like that they're just using this to fix what they messed up. Instead of like, if this was like the Marvel universe, like this would be like a fun movie. It'd be like the third Flash movie where they get to like actually have fun and like mess with an established universe.
Totally. A jumping point. Yeah, it would have been a good starting point.
That's disappointing, but maybe it could be good.
We'll see, man. Well, all right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, man. Later. Okay, guys, just a moment. I'm going to get to Black Noir in a second. But something... I was choking on that. Just a moment. Here. Hold on, I'll be back. All right. I think this will be the last. Yeah, good discussion, everybody. What's up, Amy? Let me go ahead and this will be the last call. Okay, Black, what's up?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, what's up? Just a side note, I just want to say that I don't think Warner Bros. Knows what the fuck they're doing with these DC movies. I'm pretty sure they're gonna mess this up because if they can't allow themselves to let these writers do what they want to do without studio interference, then they're just not gonna be able to get this shit together.
Right.
But, anyway, I don't want to stick on that too much. As far as John Walker being justified for what he did, nah, I don't think he's justified for that. Well, I don't find any justification in that. And actually, I think it's really interesting because there's a guy on YouTube called Heavy Spoilers. I don't know if you watch videos.
No.
So he pointed out that, in I think it was Civil War, that when Captain America was fighting Iron Man, he had shoved his shield into his chest, right?
Yeah.
He had an option to kill him, but he didn't do it.
Right.
And I think I mentioned it in the comments that was an interesting parallel to the last episode we had because, John Walker went after this guy who wasn't the person that killed his friend, but, he slayed him in the street. His hands were up and everything. It's not a good look. And, he could have easily just apprehended him because he already took the super soldier serum. So he was strong to, do what he had to do. But no, instead he went ahead and killed the dude. In front of everybody. So I'm just like, I feel like if people don't understand the difference between, him and Captain America or Steve Rogers, I don't want to make it too deep, but I think your morals are a little bit skewed, basically. I
agree. But I'll take it even further than that because, I'm assuming, not by the screen name, but I'm assuming you might be a minority. I am. Okay. What surprising to me is how much of this show's subplots and subtleness goes over people's heads in terms of police brutality and the abuse of, hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't kill me. Like, look, my life has some sort of value here. And to me, the moment I saw what's his name running the terrorist, the moment I saw this dude running for his life and getting shot in the back, getting hit in the back by the shield several times and being on the ground with his hands up, and he's like, it wasn't me type of situation. I mean, to me, that looked like essentially profiling and taking vengeance out on somebody that wasn't even the person who killed your dude. Like, we're not supposed to feel bad for him, but the authorities are supposed to have a higher respect than the people that they're chasing down. So
that's the thing. When you I don't know if people have seen the news recently, but there's like a
The military. Go ahead, tell the story.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty simple. It's like I think they pulled him over because he didn't have his plates, but I think he had just bought this new car, so he had his information in the car, but he just didn't have his plates or whatever. But it's not really the point either way. Clearly when you see this, so you saw the cop talking about like well, the guy in the car was like I'm afraid for my life or whatever, and the cop was like, you should be. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and I saw somebody comment on that video. They're like, yo, cops are supposed to be we're supposed to find them, we're supposed to respect them, I guess, and find them because they're public servants, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're supposed to find some respect there, but we're also supposed to see them as protectors or whatever. That's what we're supposed to see them as. And then, and the thing about John Walker is that, so the guy he killed, he wasn't black. I mean, I assume he was a white guy. I don't really know his exact, ethnicity.
He was of some sort of, it kind of looked like they were ambiguously playing with that because I think that I knew like what they were trying to do, but at the same time, if they went too hard on that, it would have been too apparent, like, okay, yo, Captain America just killed a minority. Like,
but yeah, and that's the thing, because he had told that story earlier to Carly. He was just like, I don't know if he said something about like his like, well, he basically said he was a fan of Captain America.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he was slain, with the shield.
Yeah.
With Captain America's shield. A lot of people bring that up. And that's the thing. It's like, all right, so he's not, black or Latino, but when he gets killed that way, it means something. But at the same time, I don't think Marvel was ready to, show like a whole black man get killed like that on the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, we got John Walker's best friend, he's a black man. But they're like,
I thought about that too. I'm like, damn, did they like safeguard that? Like, did they make dude? Did they make Black Star or Battlestar? Did they make Battlestar black just because of the fact that?
Yeah, I think so. And I low key feel some type of way about that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not.
And then they did John Walker's wife. As far as his wife is black too. So I was like, interesting. Yeah, okay.
And I understand what they're doing because you got to think about it. Like, well, I guess people that do find justification in what he did to the guy. You got to think about this. Like John Walker in the very first episode, they tried to humanize him. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like they showed him he was clearly nervous. He's the type of dude, he's a war vet, you know what I'm saying? Like he's got his medals of honor and all that stuff. He clearly said like, like I'm nervous about this. Like I really just want to do the job. He's the type of dude, he's like, I'd rather just get out there and do the work instead of being this public figure, which is interesting because, with Steve Rogers, he didn't want to be that public figure either. He just wanted to do the job. Correct. So it's like there's interesting parallels here, and I see what they're trying to do with John Walker. He has a black wife. His best friend is black. His name is Lamar. I mean, goddamn, you know what I'm saying?
This dude had a whole party with all the black people. Like it looked like they filmed like in Atlanta. They had all the juking and jiving, the drums going and everything. What that?
I was thinking about drumline the whole time. I'm like,
I swear to God, I thought Nick Cannon was about to introduce him on Good Morning America.
Or beating on somebody else's drum, but no.
Swain was gonna be giving him dap,
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I see what they're trying to do with John Walker. They're trying to humanize him. I think they were trying to, clearly they were trying to speak to people of color, by doing these certain things.
Yep.
But as I said in some of the other comments that I posted earlier, it's like, John Walker is a soldier, but at the same time, like he does kind of represent cops today, or just cops in general.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's like you said, man, he chased the dude down,
Yeah.
He threw the damn shield at his back, you know what I'm saying? Like the dude had his hands up and everything.
Yep.
This is the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like John Walker is not he wasn't a super soldier, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like, he can hold his own, but not against some super soldiers, you know what I'm saying? He did all right on that first fight on top of the truck. But
yeah, true.
Loki got his ass whooped, but he did all right. But you got to think about like, he's trying to live up to this mantle, right? And he does not feel worthy. He didn't feel worthy from the beginning, but he took responsibility anyway. And you know, this is the thing. Like, he's trying to force people to accept him as Captain America. Like, when old boy spit in his face, like, listen,
Yep.
I understand that, you know, people don't really like John Walker, and, you know, they see him as kind of like an arrogant asshole, and he kind of is, but it's just like, bro, okay, first of all, when you talking about, you know who I am, it's like, all right,
Yep.
you're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not Steve Rogers, you know what I'm saying? Like, they did give you this mantle, but it's like, at the same time, I'm like, okay, yo, this dude just spit in this man's face, all right? Like,
yeah, but we see that all the time with cops today. It's like, you
Mhm.
know, like some cops can be really chill about it or whatever, but you'll see other ones that are beyond that power trip. And the moment like they get any sort of aggression, usually toward a black person shows them any sort of aggression, they double down extra hard and slam them on the back of a car or something like that. So it's like, this ain't no, like, the lines of reality and fantasy are not that definitive anymore. It's pretty on par with what's going on in today's real world. Like, you know, and that's what made that so compelling, was like, you know, he's yelling at him. It's like, do you know who I am? And the guy was like, yeah, I know who you are, and I still don't care,
you ain't prove shit to
motherfucker.
me.
Like,
you ain't prove shit to me. And he probably don't give a damn about Steve Rogers either.
You know that, and see, I would say, in some sense, it all depends, of course, because it all depends on the way Steve would have approached that entire situation. But Steve wouldn't have aggressively gone hard on him like that when just interrogating or whatever, or he would have left it up to someone else to kind of deal with it, because the thing was, John Walker already was looking down on this dude like he was less than human, less than scum or whatever. Steve would have handled it differently, or he would have known he's not the person to be having this conversation with. It's like, like, that's why you have people that interrogate better, you know. And then with Steve, like, the interesting thing with Steve was the fact that we didn't get enough time to actually see him as the government official before he went against the law himself. But the closest that I guess we have is the fact that he was during Age of Ultron, when the Avengers were trying to help in Sokovia in certain parts of the world, there were anti-Avengers situations, and he still needed to he still just went out there and tried to do the best that he could, like that. So it's an interesting thing.
And again, you know, like, I just see these parallels with John Walker and cops today, because, you know, these cops, man, like, as I said in some of the comments I said earlier, you know, they just enforce brute force. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you're gonna do this my way, or I'm gonna whip your ass, basically. You know, like, and when you look at John Walker, you gotta look, like, I was really paying attention to the fight that happened between him and Dora Milaje. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just like, you don't have jurisdiction here. You know what I'm saying? Actually, even before that, when he was talking to Sam, he was like, should I put the shield down? Like, He was like, and Sam was just like, bro, like, chill. You know, like,
he was like, should I put the shield down, make it a fair fight? You know,
he knows for sure. Like, I mean, he's trying to intimidate him. That's what it is. Like, and that's why I said before, like, John Walker's all about brute force and intimidation, and that's what these cops are doing these days. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to intimidate people, but they're also very fragile. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and you saw that when he got his ass whooped. And you know, his homeboy Lamar was just like, yo, you straight, dog? And he was just like, yeah. He's like, they weren't even super soldiers. It's like, yo, like, y'all gotta pay attention to this stuff, man. It's like they are really trying to say something, you know, with John Walker. And so anyway, you know, he's not justified, but he clearly didn't. He doesn't see himself as being worthy of being Captain America, and I think the only way he thought he really could be worthy was by taking that serum. And, you know, and what was interesting though is that he even asked his homeboy. He was like, you know, would you take the serum? He was like, hell yeah. He was like, why? What do you think? But the interesting thing though is that you know, he was like, but what about me? He was like, no, you don't need it. You got 3 medals already. You straight.
That's a good point.
You
That's
don't
a
even
good
need
point.
it. And you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
What is interesting is that I think he took it already. I think by the time they had that conversation,
He already took it.
Yeah, I think he took, and that's the thing, and that's why he was like stressed out. You know, he was just like, damn, I already took that shit though. You know, like homeboy doesn't even know. So you know, yeah, and
I am very curious about that because so that's the thing. So, you know, I really think when really dissecting this episode, Zemo and Falcon, Zemo and Sam actually had a really pleasant conversation about power and power getting corrupted and the point of having a super soldier. And Zemo asked the same question, but just in a very indirect way. He was just like, look, did they ever offer you? Did you ever get a chance? If you had a chance, would you take the serum? And Sam was like, no. And, you know, right away. And Zemo was kind of pleased with that answer because they were talking about supremacy and things like that. And how Steve, on top of that, Zemo recognized that Steve was very much the non-factor. Steve was the rarity of Zemo's equation that power corrupts all, because Steve is very much a rarity in the sense of being a good man, where generally the people that have been taking the super soldier serums were good soldiers, or people who have a somewhat of a selfish crusade, where Steve took it, was one of the most unselfish people to take it, which maybe will lead to some point where Falcon or Sam somewhat, I wouldn't be surprised if he accidentally receives some sort of vial somehow, some way. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Sam doesn't even want to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, but that's not to say that he may not end up taking it at some point.
Yeah, but
accidentally.
I'll say that, first of all, I'll say this, like, Zemo, you know, like, he's been the standout ever since he showed up on the show. And this last episode, especially, like you just said, that conversation he had with Sam, and you know, he was explaining the whole super soldier serum, and you know, the fact that people should not have this serum, and, you know, that they have supremacist ideals and all that stuff. Like, Zemo's talking, he is talking facts, and he did admit that Steve Rogers is the only exception.
Yeah.
So he'll at least admit that. And the interesting thing is, the only other person that's really not like insane is Bucky. He's got the serum too.
Anymore.
And, you know, like, I mean, he's just trying to be like a good dude. He's trying to he's still trying to recover from, you know, everything he went through.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but as far as Sam taking the serum, like, Sam doesn't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's pretty much shown that because he's kind of similar to Cap in that way. Well, Steve Rogers, I mean, because his morals are on track, I think.
Okay.
I don't think he would take the serum personally, nor do I think he needs it. You know, to be honest, because it's the thing, yo, he's been holding his own this whole time against these supers. Of course, he has his special suit and the wings and all that shit, but, you know, he's been holding his own this whole time. And, you know, and some people are wondering if he's even going to really be Cap at the end of the day.
Right.
But, you know,
I guess my thing is, I wouldn't put it past it, and sort of Zemo's bizarre sort of actions or world or something, that Zemo has a vial of the super soldier serum, or just somehow, some way, Sam accidentally gets some sort of power upgrade or something like that, or the power broker sees something in Sam or whatever. That might be too much of a divergence from the comics, but you know, it'd be interesting to see, because I know we like to elevate Sam a lot, but he's just a normal dude fighting with a lot of meta humans, and he's gotten lucky fairly well. He's gotten really lucky, but sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, wait, this is like a normal dude just jumping out of helicopters and everything, like going up against super soldiers, which is great. That, like, he's a black Batman with wings or whatever. Well, I just realized that Falcon bats, whatever. But you know, I don't know. It would be weird. But I'm like, Yeah, man. If he's gonna hold down that shield, they're gonna have to figure it out. I feel like the MCU is gonna give us something that's similar to the comics, but still enough of a realistic spin, or that it works within the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't think he really needs it. I don't think he would take it, but at the same time, I mean, they pointed out that this super soldier serum enhances a person. So like the fact that his morals are, pretty good, I would say that would just enhance him. So it wouldn't be a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? And plus it's like I was saying before, John Walker didn't have the serum before, and he thinks the serum is what's gonna make him, at least more qualified for the job. So, and I've been thinking about that. It's like, all right, if you're gonna take the mantle of Captain America, man, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna need a little bit of extra juice, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly.
Basically, I see where you're coming from. I see your point. I can't speak on things that are different from the comics because I'm not really a comic guy. I really
No
am just
worries, yeah.
like a film and TV guy. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, just at the end of the day, I don't think he was justified for killing that dude. He should have did it a different way. But just paying attention to this character and how they've been fleshing him out through the series is like, I ain't surprised this happened. I mean, that was his homeboy. You know what I'm saying? That was like his best friend. So I'm not as soon as that happened, I'm like, all right, he gonna kill somebody right now. So,
he's going for vengeance, which is understandable as a human, but not necessarily as a person of authority. It's at that moment in time, you just like, whatever happens at this point happens. It'll be very interesting to see how they portray it. Like it's either going to go two ways. He's going to defend himself, or he's going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I was out of line. The juice is wearing off, or whatever. The aggression is. It's like lock me up, basically. It's like, okay, that's fine. Like, there's either two ways this is gonna go, and like if he drops the shield after that, and he's like, okay, lock me up or whatever, I'll have more respect for him. But if he's just like, yo, I was justified, nah, like they killed, like I'm gonna kill all of them, I'm like, all right, this dude he's gotta go, man. Get that costume off of him.
What I think is gonna happen, or maybe I guess what I hope is gonna happen, how it plays out is this. Because first of all, Bucky this whole time has been saying like, yo, he does not deserve this shield. He did not give the shield to this man. You know what I'm saying? You should not have gave it up. And we already know how Falcon feels about the whole thing.
Correct.
But at this point, after they've seen this, Bucky's gonna be like, "No, if you don't take that shield,
I will."
That shield. Yeah. I don't even care at this point. He's like, he's not keeping that. And I think John Walker is gonna. And by the way, we've been talking about the parallels between him and cops. I think John Walker's gonna get let off the hook. Personally,
you think so?
Yeah, because that just makes sense in reality. That's what
you're probably right. They're probably going to write something up. They're going to write some puff piece article, say that this is like he was gunning, like he was fighting for his life. This dude allegedly had a hidden bomb or whatever. Like John Walker had to detain this dude before he let off a bomb on an offsite area, whatever. Like it was a moment of quick thinking and reflexes, and we had to basically, what do they always say? They say not detained. There's another one. It's a military term. They had a subdue. I think it's called subdue or something. Or subdue or eliminate the threat, basically.
And just because I say they're gonna let him off the hook, I don't think that means they're gonna let him keep the shield. I mean, it'd be an interesting dynamic if they do let him keep the shield, because that's just gonna make Bucky even more like, I'm taking that shit. But at the same time, they may take it from him, you know what I'm saying, but still play it off to where he doesn't get arrested or anything like that. I don't see him going to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? He's too much of a war hero. Like they're gonna do like what you said. I think they're gonna play it off to where it's justified. But they're not gonna let him keep the shield.
Interesting. Yeah.
However, maybe they will let him keep the shield, and he's so arrogant. He's gonna be like, you're not taking this shield from me. I'm sorry, I got this serum now. Let's see what's popping. That's what I think might happen. But at the end of the day, though, I do think Falcon's gonna become Captain America, because I mean, there's all sorts of art out there of him in the costume. So I'm pretty sure they already and you see him practicing with the shield. It's like,
yeah.
I
The
think he
first
will
scene,
be.
the first scene from this entire show we've ever saw, the first teaser, everything was him
Yeah.
practicing with the shield, and I hope that's not the ending scene. But you know, who knows? Who knows, man? Yeah,
I think in the last episode or something, they're gonna show him in the actual outfit, But
against
but
the
yeah,
power broker. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh
Who
yeah,
knows?
one last question before I go. I was gonna
Yeah,
ask
go
you,
for it. Yeah,
do you think that Sharon Carter is the power broker? And if not, do you,
I've been thinking that because it just seems like with 2 episodes to go, are they really going to introduce another like that? If there's one problem I have with the show, it's the fact that there's a lot of characters and a lot of different stories running at the same time, but not all of them have had time to equally really been fleshed out in terms of a big story. So if suddenly Sharon Carter ends up being the power broker, then I'm going to be like, so why is that important again? Like, why is that a big reveal or so? Like, because for the longest time I thought that one white-haired lady with the short hair was the power broker.
I thought that was her.
Right? And then when they killed her, I'm like, and then they keep on mentioning the power broker. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, was that just an in-between person? Okay, so yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because as we've seen from WandaVision, they playing with us. You know what I'm saying?
You might be right. You might be right because the whole thing was like Sam was able to get back into America. So why again was Sharon Carter having such a hard time being acquitted, especially after the decimation from Thanos and all that other stuff going on? Like, why are you having such a hard time? Yeah,
that was confusing, but I feel like that's the type of stuff you go and watch these in-depth videos for. I don't really know this type of information. I don't really care either. But as far as Sharon Carter goes, I'll say this much: they're purposely trying to make it seem like she is a power broker. But knowing Marvel, they'll probably be like, "No, she ain't the power broker. She's just doing what she do," and it's gonna be some other random person, or maybe they'll just never explain it. I mean,
there's somebody's saying that Sharon Carter was actually one of the people who got snapped away. I don't think so because the way she was talking, she sounded like she's been on the run for like 5 years or whatever. Like, I don't think she was one of the people who got snapped away. That'd be a whole different thing. Yeah.
No, I don't think she was snapped. I mean, but who knows? Also, I dislike Carly because I don't like the fact that she was just like, calling up his sister, trying to threaten her. I know she said she didn't really mean it, but I'm like, nah, you bugging. And he blew up a building, full of people. I'm like, I ain't really. And then you killed old boy's best friend, and you just dipped. I'm like, yo,
I'm still sort of like, I'm like, yo, what's up with that? Like, you said okay, you all about killing them, right? You need to kill them or whatever. You kill one of them, and after that, you gonna dip like that?
Yeah, I'm like, you wanted some until you go get some, and now you run away. I'm like,
I was like, why are you running? Why are you running? Like, she legit killed that old dude, and it was like, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna head out. She did it. She pulled a SpongeBob, and I'm like, I'd be pissed too, but it was so weird. And then on top of that, running away, then you came back within the crowd. Like, just
I'm surprised that John Walker didn't see her in the crowd either, because if he did, he'd have been like, "Come here, bitch,"
Right? That's a good point too. That's a good point too.
I think she needs to take some pointers from the Dora Milaje and leave with grace.
Yeah.
But,
maybe
whatever.
She can get some asylum in Wakanda. I don't.
And then,
who knows?
Take that shield like the Dora Milaje did, and be like,
there you go. But that is a good point.
That's my whole opinion on the thing. So
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. I appreciate speaking with you on a matter of all topics here. Yeah.
All right, man. Looking forward to your next stream, bro.
All right, man. Later.
Peace out.
All right, there you go. Something that's very interesting as well. Black Noir just kind of made me think about it, was the fact that I wonder what Wakanda was doing like during the decimation. So all the borders were down, right? T'Challa was gone. Shuri was gone. I really wonder what happened with Wakanda within those 5 years. My biggest guess is the fact that Wakanda actually went backwards a little bit. That's my guess. I think in some cases, I think Wakanda was like, "Oh hell no, we're closing back up again," and they stayed real quiet on the radar because T'Challa was all about doing an outreach program, right? And was trying to reach out and extend good graces of Wakanda to the rest of the nations and to the rest of the world, right? But I'm assuming that losing their king and then losing the king's sister and having their own problems, they might have resorted back to the old ways to just figure out what the hell they were going to do. And more importantly, I wonder who was running Wakanda. Like, who was running Wakanda, assuming that the royal family was pretty much snapped out of existence? I'm very curious about that. The queen was still there, but I don't think the queen had any power. I don't think the queen could take power. Possibly. Well, maybe. Maybe. Huh. Huh. The gorilla tribe, like Manape, or not Manape, M'Baku, that's a very possible, that's a big possibility. But I don't think Manape is capable of, because that's an interesting thing, because it's like, especially because right now I'm watching The Crown on Netflix, where they talk about that. Like, if you haven't watched The Crown, I highly recommend it. Like, I thought it was going to be like really goofy and stuffy or whatever, British style, but no, it's actually pretty damn good. It's low key. It has kind of like if Game of Thrones was real life sort of thing. Like, I didn't realize that British history of the monarch was that deep, where people were like fucking giving up their titles, and it completely changes the entire bloodline. And like, certain people are princes, but they're a prince, but they're not even based on, like, it's only in title. They have no land or anything. That, like, Prince Philip, I didn't realize that Prince Philip isn't even British. And there was a whole like, he's not even like a quote unquote real prince or whatever. Very interesting. Yeah. If the children die, the power reverts back. Oh, what's up, gaming? I'm about to wrap up too, Trey. If you want to just come in here and say your thing, if you would like. We discussed all the police brutality and all that other stuff, man. By the way, let me see what that one dude, that bizarre Twitter guy, said. John Flickinger. I kind of want to get Trey's reaction to what John said, man. I gotta clip that other thing about his reaction to when do I think the skulls are coming? That's a good question. Yo, did we not even discuss yet? We haven't even discussed the idea that John Walker might be a skull. A scroll. Sorry, scroll. Yo, wouldn't that have been wild if after he killed that dude, the Flag Smasher dude, they turned into a scroll? So, okay. Here, just come on in. And then after Trey, I'm gonna wrap up, y'all. So while we're waiting for Trey, I'm gonna tell you guys a small story about one of the coolest things Marvel pulled off, because it's not really spoilers, but when you know it, when it finally happens in the MCU, it's gonna be wild, man. When it happens in the MCU, you're gonna be so shocked. So when the new Avengers was set up in the comics. It was like Wolverine, Luke Cage, there was a few other people, Captain America. They were fighting the Hand, and they were fighting like Elektra or some shit like that. And then somehow Elektra was the leader of the Hand at that time. And so the Hand, Elektra gets killed. I don't remember who kills her, but then suddenly Wolverine is like, he starts smelling some shit. And he's like, what the hell is that smell? And we see that Elektra's corpse has changed to a Skrull's corpse. And suddenly, the entire Marvel universe has shifted in that moment, because we realized at that point in time that the Skrulls have been essentially infiltrating the entire Marvel universe on every freaking level. Government, the underhanded belly, the mystical versions, all this other stuff. And now there's I don't know how long this crossover happened, but essentially this started something called Secret Invasion, where we realized for the last 4 or 5 years, the Skrulls have just basically been in part of the Marvel universe. And I'm not going to spoil it. If you read Secret Invasion, I think Secret Invasion is the big reveal of who, maybe the Skrull Queen is somebody really deep. That was really somebody, even the readers, we all liked. We were like, oh hell yeah, oh this person is so cool, blah blah blah. And then when we find out who the Skrull Queen is, we're like, oh fuck. And it was fucking crazy, especially because that also meant that some of the Skrull people went through House of M as well. And even through House of M, even through Wanda's programming, they didn't lose their composure. And I was like, holy shit. All right. Trey is okay. I think he just wants to call in. All right. Here we go. What up, man?
What's going on, Aqua? Yeah, man, I don't feel like turning on all my lights and doing all that today. I just don't feel like doing that today, bro. Like I'm just chilling. Yeah.
How you been, by the way? How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been people.
Yeah, I don't want to always seem like I just bring you on here just to start yelling and getting all wild and everything.
No,
like
I'm good.
I generally do care how you and your wife and the family are doing, and things are good over there. You had a good Easter?
Man, today was Easter. I didn't even know.
No. Last week, right? Wait, when was Easter, y'all?
I don't remember.
I thought it was last week.
Maybe.
I think it was last week. Okay,
I don't even keep up with holidays. Let's just go. If it's not a birthday or an anniversary or something big, I don't keep up with holidays anymore. I just move.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll get right into it because I'm gonna keep this Snyder free for now. But Captain America, John Walker. I'm sorry, John Walker. What's your take on all this?
My take is this: John Walker. First of all, hats off to Wyatt Russell.
Absolutely,
the guy came into this role and he's killing this role.
Yes,
flat out, he is killing this role. He is taking this character to a level that I didn't even know who Wyatt Russell was. But now I want to go back, and if he's been in other stuff, see him act in other stuff. It's sad that people ran him off the internet for playing Captain America, but they are building to him being the U.S. agent. And now, with what happened at the end, they're going to take the Captain America away from him, and he's just going to be the U.S. agent now. Because in the comics, he didn't want to be Captain America initially. And then when he became Captain America, he gave it right back up to Steve, who came back and took over. So with him, I guess, beating this man's chest in, like because like it's like left to interpretation. You don't know if he decapitated him, hit him in the chest like Steve did Tony in Civil War. It looked more like he hit him in the chest like Steve did Tony in Civil War. That's what I got from it.
Right.
And he is a perfect soldier. He's not a good man. Right. There's a difference. Steve was a good man. Now, and they're showing you
wanting to. Sorry to cut you off, but wanting to be a well, not a perfect soldier, but wanting to be a soldier. Yes.
Yeah. That was the difference. And like John is just the perfect soldier. And I've seen perfect soldiers being in the army. I've seen I've seen John Walkers in real life. And like
a lot of us have, yeah.
And this guy is doing it. So when he beat his chest in, I was like, yep, that's it right there. It's a wrap. That's U.S. agent, tried and true. He killed it. He is no longer Captain America. And they're going to spin it. We said in our video, they're going to spin it just like America spins it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to say, oh, during this, and this, he did this. And boom, it's not going to be an issue. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to arrest him. He's not going to get any repercussions from this, because that's what the Falcon and Winter Soldier has been doing. They've been showing you this is what America does to this type of person, i.e. Isaiah. Captain America took him, experimented on him, threw him in jail to rot because he was the black Captain America. And Sam saying the same thing. That he's been saying it, but he's not been saying it. That America doesn't want a black Captain America. Just like when they did it in the comics. People, the comic book world lost their fucking mind and said, "Yep,
not my Captain America."
Captain America. So what? No, so you can't say this is not in the comics. They're just making stuff up. This happened, and this is what they're putting out. Just like in the real world, you didn't want a black president. Not my president.
Yep.
So you can't say that these things are tried and true and they're standing the test of time, because it keeps happening.
Yep.
And I'm like, I give it up to Wyatt, because I'm like, he stepped into this role. And like, when I say he's killing it, he is killing it. And some of the parallels, like the way he's acting, like the attitude he's displaying is like, wow, this guy is really taking John from the comics and showing you that this is what this character's supposed to be. He's not Steve. Steve believed in trying to reach people's heart. Yeah, Steve in the movies was rebellious against the government, but the government was fucking us over. It was taken over by Hydra.
Yeah.
Like his tried and true enemy. Like, I'm like, that's why Steve originally couldn't live Mjolnir, because he had that one secret from Tony.
Yeah.
That's what made him unworthy. But when he unburdened himself, he was completely worthy.
Yes.
John was just a perfect soldier. He wanted to be the perfect soldier. And like Battlestar was saying, you know what we had to do over there to get those 3 medals. Yeah. It's not about being a perfect soldier. That is not Captain America. It's about having a good heart. And I've seen the stuff online. I'm like, yeah, I know what kind of fans these are. I'm like, yep, I know where this is going. I'm like, I'm just go get off the internet and I'm just go chill in my little corner, because I see where this is going.
Are you speaking about that's the kind I like to bring on the grittiness? That's my Captain America. Like,
yeah, and like it was one guy. I don't know who the guy was. He was like, "Thank you for your service" or some shit. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, John Flickinger.
Yeah, him. Right here. Yeah. I was like, "Yo, bro, are you serious?" I was like, "You know what? I ain't got no comment, bro. You got it."
Knockoff Cap has now become my favorite character in Falcon and Winter Soldier. A man willing to do what it takes. America thanks you for your service.
I was like, you got it, big dog. I was like,
He did update 2 hours ago here. He said, Justin, because this is kind of something interesting that I actually wanted to ask Trey while he's on anyway.
Do me a favor. Click on his actual Twitter. Go to his, how many followers does he have?
Okay. Does that matter?
Yeah. I want to see
Okay.
something.
36.7.
He has a YouTube.
He does have a YouTube, which is about I believe 290,000.
Somebody told him to type that.
What?
Somebody told him to type that.
Really?
I believe it. I don't like. I'm that guy that you know me. I'll say what I feel. Somebody told him to type that.
Because I was thinking about the fact. I was looking at this. I'm like, is he just trying to shock jock to get people to like tune into him? But then I was looking at his frequency of uploads, and I'm like, this isn't like. He doesn't look like the kind of courting. What is that one the courtingly or whatever? And those bro takes or whatever. Like he doesn't look like one of those people that makes videos to get those types of people to subscribe. So I don't know. Yeah, you think somebody told him to type
like
that?
in his circle said say something else because this could have backlash.
I see.
Like
you're saying somebody told him to type the semi apology video.
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
Yeah. This shit was. I'm not. Look, 1.1, and I. You know what, Trey? I agree with you on that point because I was trying to give this dude like the benefit of the doubt for the longest time. I'm like, yo, this shit was posted for me. It was posted 2 days ago, and I'm like 1.5 thousand retweets. I'm like. And you just replied to this?
Yeah.
You just got back?
Somebody saw that. Somebody said, hey, type this, bro. That don't come across good. You need to redo that. You need to say something. You need to cover that shit. Like, no. Like, no, that's like, no. Like, bro, you said what you meant. And that's what you truly meant. I don't hate you for it, but I just know what I'm saying? This is it. Well, you don't understand, Trey, certain people's sense of humor, bro.
Well, here's it, and that's the thing. I would like for some reason. I'm like, wait. So now we want to start bringing up the fact that these are cartoons or whatever, right? So right here it says, or if some people are unaware, this is a fictional TV series, and I'm so surprised that that's the defense that people are using now. That it's a fictional TV series, but at the same time, we want to start bringing in realism with other type of shows when things start portraying, a few weeks ago, all I heard about Falcon and the Winter Soldier was it's woke. It's a woke show. But now when it starts covering something or when you get your ass handed to you, oh, dude, it's just a fictional show, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
I'm like, okay.
Pick and choose mentality where they want to say, oh, well, it's fictional here. Oh, and when Sam is getting interrogated by the police, it's fictional. Oh, well, John just killed somebody. That's fake. Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all know what it is. You know what it represents. Don't have your picks and chooses. Yep. You don't get to pick and choose the moments you get to say are fictional.
Exactly.
Like, we know it's based off comic book, but some of this is real life, and you know it's real life, but because it makes you uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You don't want to say that's real now. Just like and like, here we go. I'm gonna have to hit you with it. But the other day, the lieutenant in the military got pepper sprayed.
Exactly.
But the other guy is another guy who pulled a gun and killed an officer who was a white guy. But you didn't feel any fear. You didn't approach him with no gun out, pepper. Like, so what is it? Let's keep it real. Like, let's not bullshit. Let's keep it real. Like, y'all know what it is, but you want to be blind to it.
Yes.
You want to be blind to it. That's all. And
exactly. No, exactly.
It'll bite you in your ass.
I mean, it's like if anything, I think they went easy on the whole scene with Sam getting pulled over by the police. But the moment we saw that happening, a few days ago, a military person getting pulled over, those cops had no respect for this dude. In the Marvel version, once they realized he was an Avenger, it was like, oh, okay, wait a second,
and then that's the sad thing. It shouldn't even take that.
Yep.
You should approach a person like a person from the jump.
Yeah.
Not like a criminal. And then this is the thing that pissed me off with people. But they put their life on the line and they don't know if they're a criminal or not. But when we're in the military, we go to war and they train us for war. We have to before we can shoot, we have to give warnings and all this other stuff. We can't just up and shoot somebody.
Right. It's the same fucking Call of Duty. You just don't run in there. Like,
yeah. I'm like, people don't understand that, and people don't want to understand that. It's just sad. And like the whole John Walker thing, when you see episode what is it 5 next week, and when they give that fake bland written apology, you gonna be like, well, I be damned. Like, because you know they're gonna do it up, because that's what America does. Yeah. They're gonna play it up. Oh, he's gonna put down the shield. He's gonna go to rehab and we're gonna get him like the help he needs. He was traumatized because his friend died. He didn't kill the person that killed his friend. He saw the girl who killed him. He killed somebody else. The guy that said, I think that was the same guy that said Captain America was his hero. Yeah. And he got killed by a Captain America.
Yep. Not the Captain America, but by a Captain America.
Exactly. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And never meet your heroes, bro. Never meet your heroes, bro. That is the definition. That guy is the definition of don't meet your heroes, bro. Because you might get a shield in the chest.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Horrible. You might get a shield beat in your chest. It is crazy.
Stars and stripes.
Exactly. And the girl was standing right there. I'm like,
yeah. She dipped and then she came back just to see that was the epitome of the Marvel versus Capcom Stars and Stripes finisher right there.
I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, bro, like, well, damn.
Yep.
We just go. I'm like, the way he was looking off, I was like, yeah, he definitely took that serum. Like, it's a wrap. If you ever thought he didn't, that was definition right there. He did. That's definitive. He took it.
Yeah, because that almost reminded me of Roid Rage, basically. Like, that was like legit, like that. He was like drooling out the side of his mouth, jumping out windows, breaking bricks with his hand.
I'm like, the way, and like, he really thought he was a badass without it. That was the funny part. He thought he was a badass without it, but the Dora Milaje showed him, you're nothing, bro.
Yep.
Like, 3 women.
That shield kick was the icing on the cake there. That's what I didn't even know who that was, like, because it wasn't Ao, and obviously it wasn't Okoye. It was like, yo, this is like, I won't say C rank, but I'm like, this is just a random soldier kicking this shield up, like showing you what's up. Come on now. Like, and then she just gave it to you, like, oh, okay, here's your.
I could take this shield. You can't take it from me. But here you go. Here go your little toy. I'm gonna give it back to you. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, and like, what was funny? Bucky was like, looking strong, John. Like, you can't even handle 3 women. Like, how could you handle Bucky? And you talking about fighting Sam? Like, at that point, I was like, when the Dora Milaje beating your ass like that, I was like, bro, you can't beat Sam. I know you can't beat Sam. Sam been training with Black Widow, Cap.
Yep.
I don't think you can handle Sam.
Yeah.
Not even in a fair one-on-one fight.
Well, even at the same time, Sam said you might want to fight Bucky before you tangle with the Dora Milaje like that. And
Bucky was even new, like, you might want to fight me first. Like, come on, bro. Like, these, like, and that's what I'd be like, bro. These women are the most badass women on earth. Stop playing with them. And like, you touched him, I was like, that is. You touched her shoulder. I was like, oh boy, what are you doing? And then he was trying to get big with Sam, like, he'll put the shield down, like,
make it a fair fight. Yeah,
you need the shield, big fella. You need about 6 shields. You need about 6 shields. It was amazing. I was like, bro, these women, and like when Bucky and Sam got in the fight, I was like, wow, they were just trying to calm it down. I was like, nah, they finna start fighting them too. And sure enough, I was like, oh, and the disarming of Bucky.
Yes.
So you got the meaning of her saying in the beginning of the episode that, I can stop you. But even though he didn't have the arm on, it was just her letting him know, be confident, I got you. You're not gonna hurt nobody in Wakanda. You're not hurting nobody over here, baby. Like, I got you.
That's a good point. No,
like,
you're right.
If you just so happen to get past AO, you ain't getting past Okoye. It's just it wasn't going down like that.
Right.
Like
No,
that's
it
what me
wasn't.
and Tasha was saying. Me and Tasha was saying these women protect the guy that's a super soldier. So they have to be badass women. Like T'Challa's not a super soldier, but he takes a herb that gives him superhuman abilities.
Yeah.
So if they are protecting him, do you think they're weak women at all?
Exactly. Yeah. And that was John's ignorance without doing his due diligence, knowing that, you know.
Research or nothing. Like you don't know these women. If I see women cosplaying that kind of shit, I'm gonna think, yeah, something up. I don't trust y'all. Y'all might fuck up all my shit. Like, look at that. Look at what they have on, and they're fighting in that shit. Put the spears down.
Yep.
Put the spears down. That's like telling Thor to put down his hammer. Okay, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I mean, yeah, even they're saying even the Dora Milaje almost took down Killmonger.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
A group of them almost took out Killmonger. He had the herb. Like, bro, that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
These women are trained most of their lives.
Yeah.
Ayo told Black Widow, move. Or
be moved. Yeah.
I said, oh shit.
Yeah.
I wanted to see even T'Challa was like, as entertaining as that would be, like I was looking forward to that fight. I was like, Civil War, give me this right here. I was like, I don't even know who this lady is. We didn't even know her name at that moment.
At that time, yeah.
Oh, we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this. I mean, Black Widow was standing there. I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know who was gonna win that fight. I was like, I was sitting there in the theater. I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Please, somebody throw a punch." I dare anybody in this bitch throw a punch. It's about to be some smoke out here. It was gonna be some dudes getting their ass whooped out there. If them two women would have fought in that garage, I was ready.
The Thunderdome here.
Exactly, yeah. And another key point. Let's give it up to Sebastian Stan. His acting in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
The crying, wherever he was pulling his emotions from, Sebastian has really grown as an actor.
I agree.
I remember the first movie I watched him in, I think it was called The Covenant with the witches.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen that. Like, I remember watching him as a young actor. I was like, this dude is something else. He was, and to see him from then to now, I don't know what he was pulling from, where his mind was going, but he looked like he was petrified. Like he was scared. Like, I don't want to hurt these people that have welcomed me into their sacred nation, welcomed me into their home, and hurt these people because I know that monster and I can't stop myself. It's like he's trapped inside his own body when he's the Winter Soldier, where he sees what's happening, but he can't stop it. No matter what he tries to do, he can't stop it. It's a wrap. It's over for him.
Absolutely.
And I just love when he gets lost in the Winter Soldier.
I do like that idea. Like he is a man that, like, so Steve was a man trapped out of time, or a man trapped in time, and but Bucky is a man trapped in his own body. Yeah, trapped in his own mind. Yeah, he doesn't even know what will happen next, type of deal. So, and Annie ain't got no furniture. So,
and,
you know,
and then that's the soldier though, sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
I used to do that a lot. Like,
sleep on the floor.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Why? Like, I'm kind of familiar with that, but why is that? Is it you want to be uncomfortable and ready to go, or you want to be comfortable?
Yeah, it's both. It's both, actually. It's very strange. It's both. It's both, and it's like hard to. It's something hard to describe.
Is it similar to the same? You saw The Punisher, right? The season 2, I believe. Where
I don't remember it mostly though.
Okay, because there was one guy dealing with the PTSD, and then he was just digging holes in the fucking yard and sleeping in there because it was easier for him to sleep there than in a regular bed like that.
Yeah, some people do weird things, like, because it's like I can't even remember what the word is called. what is it? I can't even remember what the word is called. I can't remember what it's called. But my point, no, it's not PTSD. It's what the hole is called. It's a certain kind of. I can't remember what it is.
Foxhole, right?
Yeah, foxhole. Thank you.
Yeah.
They do those because you get ready so you can be covered up, camouflage, and you can sleep like that with your weapon pointed in case somebody attacks you. So you can get ready to shoot, and it's comfortable because you sleep like that with your gun, with your weapon ready to shoot.
But the sleeping on the floor thing is just a matter of kind of being ready at that moment.
And it's comfortable to you because you've been doing it for so long.
Got it. Okay.
It's what your body knows. The bed is like a big ass marshmallow, like Sam said in The Winter Soldier. It feels like you sinking into the bed.
Right.
It feels like you're sinking. Like it's like, no, this is not comfortable. But if, like they said, Bucky took the serum, and like this is what people didn't take away. Bucky took the serum, but Bucky was mind controlled. So in the MCU, in the comics, he didn't take the serum. He was just a great assassin. He was a great soldier. He was just good at what he did. But in the MCU, he took the serum to have the super strength that he has. But also notice, Bucky is not on. He's not offhinged as John is. Take this away. Because of Hydra, his mind is messed up. But Bucky, if he took the serum, he was a good guy. Think about it. Bucky wasn't a bad guy. Bucky had a good heart. He always stuck up for Steve. He always did the right thing. He was Steve's best friend. Steve don't have bad friends. Just think about it. Bucky was in a messed up situation, which made him a bad person. Made him have all this trauma for 7-8 decades. You've been brainwashed. That's all you know.
Right.
Like most of his life, when he was taking care of Steve, looking out for Steve, him and Steve were brothers. When they were at war against Hydra, Bucky was the right-hand man. And if he would have took the serum with Steve, I feel like that's something more that I feel like Marvel should explore that what if when the show comes out. Because I feel like he would have been just as good as Steve. And if they would have been on the plane together, they would have went down in the plane together and came up in the new MCU, what we have now, and they would have been fine. Howard wouldn't have died by Bucky's hand. We wouldn't have got Civil War because Steve wouldn't have had to protect Bucky. King T'Chaka probably wouldn't have died. That's the Bucky we would have got right there. Think about that, Bucky, taking a serum.
Interesting.
Now, I know everybody like, whoa, that's interesting. Like, think about it. Like, really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, that Bucky right there is a good guy. He's Sergeant James Buchanan Barnes. He's not the Winter Soldier there. He's not brainwashed. He's not traumatized.
Right.
He hasn't killed people that he didn't want to kill. He hasn't killed friends, family, people, just innocent bystanders. He's not a man trapped in his body. He's a man with his best friend going to try to change the world for the better. And if Bucky was there when they were fighting the Red Skull and they both would have went down in the plane and survived, or they would have got 2 doses of the super soldier serum, and Steve would have said, he's the guy. Give it to Bucky.
Actually, that's very interesting. I wonder why wasn't Bucky chosen for the program? I guess they just didn't need him at that time.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if they would have if the doctor would have survived, they would have tried to find other soldiers, to better discern, because Hydra developed a better version of the serum to give to Bucky. Because notice, he didn't change. His body didn't change like Steve's did. He didn't grow because of the rays from Howard's machine.
Right. So, well, I was reading about that because that was the thing was because I had to look that up last night because I'm like, all these other people are just injecting the serum in them. But you are correct. And the serums that we're seeing and possibly Hydra's and I'm assuming Isaiah's, but the serums that we're seeing, and even the Red Skull, because the Red Skull took in the MCU version, he took a version, the imperfect version of the professor's serum, and that's what made him even crazier as well. But he was crazy to begin with the anger issues. But the reason Howard Stark was around, that machine essentially, the serum that Steve took, he took 6 vials of it, and there was no change until using a particular, it's called vital rays, that Howard Stark set up in that container. That's what basically jump started the serum and gave him the body that Steve has now, where down the line, and this is the one problem I have with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is like they throw a lot of exposition out there, but it's not, sometimes it doesn't always make sense within a brief 30 seconds that you explained it. But I'm assuming they have reversed engineered the super soldier serum through Isaiah and created one where you get injected one time, and it doesn't change your body, but it definitely enhances
your strength and everything else, durability, stamina.
It's very interesting about that, because it's like, if some of these soldiers or if some of these people took got the vital rays that Howard Stark put into Steve, what would happen to them as well? Would they end up looking like Bane or something? Who knows?
Some people would. Somebody that like Bucky, that was already, a big guy, already muscle mass. Like, think about him in the Winter Soldier, and then he got the serum in him, and then get vital rays. He would look like damn Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he was huge as hell. And right. I think that's why they didn't do it, because they realized, okay, we did it with Steve. Now this doesn't make sense if we do it to somebody else. So just give them the serum. Don't use the rays on them. And it's the equivalent of that without the rays, because we gotta have a better version of the serum. And we don't need to make this person a 6'2", 220 pound fitness god. We don't need him to look like that.
Right. It is an interesting theory, though. What if Bucky ended up taking the serum at that time? And you have a good point about that. I was going to say, if they didn't pick Steve Rogers, what if they did pick a regular dude, like a soldier? I mean, mentally we know what would have happened, but physically, did they need to use a vital rays on a regular soldier after that?
That was the point of Steve Rogers. Like, they probably would have used the vital rays, but the guy from the first movie, I can't remember the soldier name Tommy
was
Lee
endorsing.
Yeah. He was basically John Walker.
Okay.
He was basically John Walker, a perfect soldier. Back in 2011, remember the movie? He was like, he's a soldier.
Yeah.
He was, and like the doctor was saying, I'm looking for more than just a soldier. Right. And like you would have got U.S. agent right then. That's all that they were already teeing it up. Like, this is what I love about Marvel. They were already teeing it up. It's just people never paid attention to it. That guy was basically them saying, yeah, eventually we want to get to John Walker. This is just like a little Easter egg. Like, he's a perfect soldier. Like Tommy Lee was saying, like, hey, this guy here, he's the perfect soldier. I'm not looking for a perfect soldier. And now y'all have the perfect soldier, and this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
And this is what you're getting. 70 plus years later, you got the perfect soldier, and he's out here killing people, begging for their lives.
That's a good point. If John Walker didn't go through Afghanistan and have those experiences to become that perfect soldier, I wonder if things would have turned out a little differently. Who knows? Yeah, because we do see, like, sometimes in the comics they show flashbacks that, if I remember correctly, if this wasn't the Red Skulls doing it, but if I remember correctly, Steve's father was abusive or something like that. But I honestly don't quote me on that, because I think they changed, the Red Skull messed up his origin a few times, like with a mind
Probably,
program.
that's probably when he was when he did the Hell Hydra and messed with his mind.
Right. Because that's what I remember the most. Yeah. So very interesting. Man, well, all right. What are you looking forward to next the next 2 episodes?
Man, I'm looking forward to a fight between Falcon, Winter Soldier, and John. That's what I want to see. Okay. I want to see them boys go to work. It's going to be I feel like it's going to be a 2-on-1 fight.
Yeah. Shades of Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a 2-on-1 fight with them versus him. He's going to hurt somebody. I feel like he'll probably hurt Sam. No, they'll probably try to make him hurt Bucky. So Sam can take the victory because they want him to be Captain America. Now, I understand people don't want him to be Captain America, but they're already introducing the Falcon, the guy Torres.
Right.
So that's going to happen, whether people want it or not.
Wait. Go Torres. Wait, explain.
The guy from that Bucky.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. So he's the Falcon. So y'all can get ready. If there's going to be a season 2, he's probably going to train him up, somebody that he trusts to take over his.
Sorry. Thank you for hosting Dublin. Okay. Inspector Gadget theme song.
It's like, what are you watching right now? But yeah, I'm like, it makes sense. Like you're passing on roles that need to be passed on, just like we're gonna get with Black Widow, just like we're gonna get with Iron Man. Like, and it's just gonna happen. That happens in comic books. Like,
who's replacing Iron Man? Who do you think?
The guy, it's gonna be 2 characters: Ironheart, Riri Williams, and Iron Lad, the boy that was in Iron Man 3. Both of those characters are gonna take over the Iron Man Monarch or the Legacy, and Don Cheadle. Like, it depends on how long he wants to do it, because we getting Armor Wars, something I thought we wasn't going to get. I didn't expect that at all. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. I don't think he's going to change his name, but he's just going to be like, we'll probably get a West Coast Avengers type movie or something, like with him at the forefront.
Okay,
because people don't like Brie Larson, so people like John Walker more than Brie Larson, so
What do you have any advice for? Because you and I both have a lot of younger fans that sometimes don't get the subplots or the subtext of what Falcon and the Winter Soldier really is trying to say. The same way where WandaVision, I think they laid it on a lot thicker to understand that this is a story about grief and people dealing with how to move on or how to keep a legacy of somebody alive. What advice would you give to some of your fans and mine that aren't catching all the subplots of racial divides and police brutality in this show? What sort of advice could you give them to better understand these meanings? Because I often say, if you can't understand why Sam getting pulled over by the police was such a big deal, then you will never understand what it's like to be a black man in America. But what kind of advice would you give to those?
My advice would be, you need to be more understanding. Look at what's going on. Stop living in your little own bubble. Open your eyes. If someone, be it a stranger, has their hands up, and it's not causing an issue, and saying, what did I do? I didn't do anything. My hands are up. And then you turn around and look to your left, and a guy has the gun on the police, but that guy looks more like you, and he has a full-on gun in the officer's face, and the officer is asking him to stand down. Know your privilege, because everybody can't just point a gun in a police officer's face and then go to Burger King and then go get driven to the. Understand where other people are coming from. Be sympathetic. I'm not saying be ignorant. Be sympathetic. You don't know what someone is going through. Just because they look more like you skin tone wise doesn't mean they're right.
Right.
I just want everybody to open their eyes. It's okay that you don't understand. Then tell someone, I want to understand better. I don't understand. Because I'm going to say it. Racism is taught. You're not born racist. Flat out. You are not born racist. I'm going to give you a good point to prove it. The movie with Chadwick Boseman, Jackie Robinson. If you watch the scene while everybody's using the N-word, the little boy is looking around. He doesn't understand. The director did a good job. He's looking around like, why are they saying this? Why this? You can see it in his eyes. He doesn't understand. But then, because all of the adults that are around him are doing it, he doesn't. Like I said, racism is taught. Open your eyes and try to understand. Be open to understanding. Don't just live in your bubble. It's okay to expand and look for their point of view. You don't have to always agree, but be respectful in that person's lifestyle.
Speaking of which, because I do want to actually answer, because as I kind of expected, when it comes to actually people calling in and things like that, it was pretty much everybody was on the side of like John Walker was not right in what he did. But anybody that supports that might have some mental problems, but I think it goes a little deeper than that. So I do want to take this opportunity to answer what Lantern is saying. He's saying, bro, you can't bring up what the show is trying to portray in the series because it doesn't mean it works. Viewer interpretation is up for discussion. There is no correct argument. You can have your own opinion, but it doesn't mean that it's the right one. I would say that's a little twofold of a question. And I also feel like that's very dismissive of the point that they're trying to make in this show. I think that, yes, things are up for interpretation. Some things can heavily be up for interpretation, but there's other things that are very obvious of what they're trying to do. And the subtleness is just an easier way of just going full-blown woke, so to speak, because the moment, like, if you literally have Falcon up here saying, look, he pulled me, and like, if you got to spend time in the show for Falcon to actually talk to Bucky and be like, you don't understand why that was wrong, and then people complain that the show has gotten too woke, where they're treating it more of a realistic situation. Look, it happened in my life, it's happening in the show, or it happened at a moment in my life, just happened, it was displayed in the show, and we put it out there to let people know this is exactly what's going on. And we're still moving on with our life as much as most of us generally have to do every day. When I got pulled over by the police 2 months ago or something, it's not like I made a huge stint about it, but I talked about it and we move on with our life, you know? So I think it is very sort of belittling to basically say, oh, well, you just saw it that way because you're a black man or whatever. You know, John Walker murdering this dude again, I'm showing you guys just in case you forgot, taking this dude in the back of the taking the shield. He was running for his life and had his hands up, as far as we know, no weapons available, and was murdered on the pavement. I mean, there's only one way you can take that.
Like, I don't know how else to take that. And then he's not the guy who killed his friend. You were mad that your friend died. But even as a super soldier, you couldn't protect your friend. You're like, yes, this girl killed your friend. You didn't go after the girl. You killed, like,
yeah. Hold on, and then I get so. Go ahead, Trey.
You kill somebody else. It's like an eye for an eye, and like
that's not somebody else's eye, though. You know,
and
that's
like
somebody else's eye.
Think about it. Steve thought he saw Bucky die. He could have went out after Red Skull just like that, but he didn't.
Yep.
Like, this is what I be trying to get people to see. This is the difference. These are the differences between people and the serum and what they're trying to convey in the show, that everybody does not need this serum. It's not meant for everybody. What they're trying to convey to you is Steve picked Sam because if he was to get the serum, he know that Sam would be okay because his heart would be in the right place. Steve would try to talk to Carla, just like Sam is trying to talk to Carla.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to convey. They're trying to show you the positives and the negatives of being Captain America, where Sam is on the positive side, John is the complete opposite of everything that Captain America is supposed to stand for. And you're going to have race play a part of this. They're giving you everything. Marvel is touching on stuff that people don't want them to touch on because it's Marvel. Just stick to the comics. Well, this is in the comics though. So they're not doing anything that's not tried and true to the comics. You might not like it because it's real life, but that's real life.
And to answer Lantern's question here, I don't think anybody with any sound of mind is calling John Walker a cold monster. Like, as far as I've seen, nobody is shitting on him for shitting on him for doing what he did, in the sense that we understand why he did it in the context of, what was pumping through his veins, what was going on, getting caught up in the heat of the moment. The problem is the fact that he's directing that toward someone that indirectly was responsible for this, but more importantly, he's using this as an excuse, and he's wearing a symbol, and he's in a position of authority where you are supposed to be better than that. So the whole point is like, the whole thing I keep on hearing people here is like, how would you feel if your best friend, you know what? I'm not Captain America. I'm not
I'm not a symbol. Officer. I'm not a symbol. Right. Like, and then think about this. In Black Panther, they did the same thing. King Mercy, and Okoye and Nakia had to pull T'Challa back. The world is watching. So they've had this happen in Marvel before. Don't act like this has not happened.
And more important, and so what I was going to say is just even if I'm not Captain America, even if I'm not in a position of authority, guess the fuck what? If I ended up like, if I found out somebody was fucking my girl, and then I end up killing her and that person and my neighbor next to me, guess who goes to jail at the end of the day? Me. So it's like it doesn't matter how many people will be like, oh yeah, I understand, Akasan. Yeah, he was fucking your girl. Yo, you still going to jail. You're still going to jail.
I mean, you done. You going to jail. I'm like, people will try to make excuses for things. Like, his friend died. Yeah, he was in a bit of a rage, but you're a symbol. You could have gotten justice. You could have taken that person in to America, got him interrogated. You could have made them tell you everything, what's going on, what's the plan. You could have arrested this person.
Yo, facts. Even the Punisher would have probably taken this dude in. I'm not going to lie, because he needed him to get to Carly like that. For real, dude. Whatever.
Like, people have their way of thinking, and like, you can't change the world on how they think. Hey, think how you think. That's your mind. I can't control you. All we can do as reactors is try to open your mind to the possibility that it's more than one way to think. Yeah, I can understand him being mad. Me being a soldier, hell yes, I can understand him wanting to kill somebody. Trust me. It's okay that he had that rage, but also you're on foreign fucking soil. You are the symbol for America. You're supposed to be basically Marvel's golden boy right now. And you just killed a man in 4K, and this video is on YouTube. Akasan and Trey are reacting to it, and you're a meme. You're a meme on Twitter.
Yep.
Like, they could have called reactors for this scene and got us to react to it and put it in the show. That would have been the most real shit. That Marvel, that could have been the most real shit ever.
Yep. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if like next episode they have some people on YouTube, they have some people on their desktop, on their phones, all around the world. People are seeing these replays of Captain America murking somebody in public like that.
That's horrible. That. Do you know what that does to the Avengers brand, bro? Like, but it's Captain America.
After Pepper Potts watching the stock go down.
I know, right? Pepper's in here like, what the fuck? Like,
you're gonna have some mad ass mothers burning the Captain America John Walker toys.
Bricks. He over there eating cheeseburgers with Lil Morgan. Like, what the hell is this? Like, what are we doing here? Spider-Man swinging. He ran into a goddamn building. Like, holy shit! What? Like, bro, that's what I need next week. That's what I need. I need them to show other Avengers reaction to the shit. Just watching it on YouTube. I can see Peter and fucking what's his name? Ned just sitting there like, holy shit! In school, it's like, god damn. Like, horrible.
I could actually see that and be like, holy shit, I stole that shield too.
Like, I would love to see Bruce's reaction to this because I'm like, bro, what is this? This is horrible. This is horrible. I'm like, and again, I give it up to Wyatt though because he is killing this role.
Oh, that would be so great. The MCU reacts because honestly, Loki, I still think old man Steve, is still around. Like I would love to see him just be watching this shit on TV, chilling with Sharon Carter and Sharon Carter, and then be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like,
what the fuck is this?
Yep, I would not be surprised if he just shows up and kicks down Sam's door and be like, "What the fuck did you do with my shield?"
like people are saying Steve is not dead. I think Steve is dead. Like after all this time, I feel like Steve is dead. Like I can't see Steve being around right now. Like I just can't. Like
I honestly, because there was a point in the comics where there were two Steves. There was old man Steve and then the regular generation Steve. So it wouldn't be too off situation if old man Steve was basically reliving this entire life, but just a more peaceful life. He just doesn't get involved because he's got current timeline Steve doing what he does. So
hey, you know what? If Chris Evans wants to come back, I'm with it. I'm not lying. Like he's young, man. He's like 30 or 40 something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like he's no more than 42. I'm like, dude, like you can come back, like you can do 10 more years, and people will love you in that role.
You go see old man Steve coming in, like the Joe Biden looking Chris Evans, like, give me back the shield, it's mine. Yeah. You soiled it.
Yeah, he's 39, bro. He's 39. Like, bro, you can do 10 more years and you good.
You're gonna be like old man Bruce Wayne and Batman Beyond and everything, and be up there with trying to lift up that shield. I love it. I love it.
I want to see what Sam does with the shield. We'll
see.
I want to see it. I want to see what happens, and if there's gonna be a season 2, y'all know I'm reacting to it. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna get up out of here.
All right, man, Trey, I appreciate it. You guys make sure you check out Married to the Real here, where they always keep it real in their opinions, even with shows like The Flash.
Hey, real talk. The Flash has been hitting on my channel lately. Man.
You know what? I got mad respect for you that you can still keep it up with that show. Like we may have our differences of opinions on that, and one day I might need to have a whole nother discussion with you about why I should be liking that show. But I'm glad that you're
right now. The Flash is making me mad because they only talk no jutsu shit, and I'm like, I'm really getting mad with them right now. I've been saying it though. I'm like, in my reaction, I've been saying, like, bro, what is this talk no jutsu? Why are we pulling Naruto's out here? Why are we talking to everybody? What happened to punching people in their throat? Like, what is this?
And then I saw
like, now the last villain, I was like, okay, I understand this, but I'm like, I don't want to talk to him. I need somebody to throw some lightning bolts and some acid.
I saw the preview for next season, for next episode, where the fake Nora, whatever, that Speed Force thing, and she's like, "I can help you speed out," and she's just like roomies with Iris and Barry. I'm like, yeah, I don't even, no, but I appreciate the fact that you and Blind Wave can still stick with it, because that was painful to look at that.
You know who's coming to the show, right?
Yeah, Impulse, right?
Yeah, you know who's playing him?
I thought it was the guy from the Batman, but no,
Jordan Fisher. Like, people were mad at me because I didn't know who Jordan Fisher was. I knew who Jordan Fisher was from Twitch.
I don't know who the fuck Jordan. Who's that?
Jordan Fisher. He's like he does Twitch, from what I know. He's done other shows and shit, but I'm like, I don't know him from that. I know him from Twitch. I'm like, I don't know him from acting. I know him from Twitch. Go look up Jordan Fisher. Yeah. And like on Twitch when you get a second. Like, he got an Instagram, he got all that. Like, on his Twitch. Go look up Jordan Fisher. Like, he was playing Valorant the other day. I was like, oh, but
why should the question is, people are getting mad at you, but why should we give a fuck?
Because I don't, like, you know, it's the younger people, man. They want you to know who these young actors are.
Oh, is that why? Oh, I'm supposed to know him because he's a like millennial streamer or something like that.
He's a streamer from what I know, but I mean, he's a cool guy. Like, I don't have a problem.
He seems all right. Yeah.
I'm like, I just want him to do the work and enjoy the role.
Exactly.
Like, that's what I'm worried about. I'm like, I would prefer not to see him act on anything because that way I know if I really like him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand how to separate the characters from the person. Like, and that's what's wrong. That's why Wyatt got off social media for playing John Walker. Like, people can't separate the two. Like, I know he's a good actor because you did your job. You made people hate you from around the world from just playing a character. I'm like, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, he did his job very well, but people can't separate. But hey, I gotta go because I gotta get up in like 3 hours.
All right, man. You have a good one, man.
You too, man.
All right, later, man. Good talking. Later. All right, so there you go, guys. Make sure you check out Trey. We're Married to the Real and also Married to Gaming. He's a Twitch streamer as well as a YouTuber, and he has his him and his wife have their own takes on Invincible, The Flash, Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and among other some shows. And they also have a Friday night Freak On Fest, or Real Talk. Sorry, Real Talk. That's something else I'm thinking about. So every Friday night they have something called Real Talk where you can actually come in and call in as well. Not call in, but they just get the drinky drink going on and have a good time, and talk to you guys as well, the fans. So Freak On Fest. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that, man. All right, y'all. I think we had some fun times, man. We some people somebody's like, this is gonna go on forever, but somebody was just like, no shade, but John Walker is definitely the Snyderverse version of Captain America. I mean, he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong about that. Yeah, he ain't wrong, but and there's definitely comparisons there as well, but I did my best to stay away from those comparisons. Y'all, you guys take care of yourselves, be easy, love you too. Yeah. What was I saying? I was about to say something, but what time is it? Hey Siri, what time is it in Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles, California.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock. So
it's 9:39 p.m.
All right, so it's almost 10 o'clock. So it's 1 a.m. over in okay. I might be back if you guys just want to do a little stream and chill or something. Maybe. I always say this every time. I've been trying to keep up with Monster Hunter Rise, but it's I don't know. It's cool to play, but streaming it just hasn't been. It hasn't really been kicking into high gear or anything for me, so I apologize about that. I got my sleep and exhaust build. That's cool, man. But I will say, I will be back at this moment in time. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 10 o'clock, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. In all likelihood, I will be back tomorrow, and we will try to play some games. And then, of course, make sure you tune in for Wednesday night. I'm sorry. Well, sorry, your Tuesday night, my Wednesday morning, which is going to be Flash. And we'll find another DC property to watch. A 20-year-old got killed by cops for having too many air fresheners in his rear view mirror. You know what? That air freshener shit is one of the oldest lines cops use. I've been pulled over for air fresheners. One of my friends got pulled over for the hula hoop girl on the hula girl on the dashboard. I've had guns pulled out on me by police officers. I think I've told that story before. That's just one of like, maybe some of that stuff is left to interpretation, but honestly, that shit with John Walker was basically one of those type of cops shoving around that authority. Always introducing yourself as the badge first and not as a person. So, but that's a whole nother thing. So, yeah. Anyways, so we got Flash, and then I'll try to think of another DC movie we can watch. And then Thursday, it's probably tax day for me. So I may not have time to hang out with you guys. We'll see. And then Friday, of course, it's all full circle again. Falcon and Winter Soldier, Invincible, and a few other things will be streaming. So make sure you catch us on that live stream as well. In My Hero Academia, I am trying to keep reacting to My Hero Academia, but it just keeps on getting blocked every time, so we might have to give up on that one, as well as Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, but sometime this week, I think we will do the last 2 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen on Twitch. So tune in for that as well. For all the updates, just make sure you just check out Twitter. That's the easiest way. I appreciate everybody. This month we did really well. I've done Apocalypse War already. But what was I saying? It's slipping. I did want to mention that I really appreciate everybody for the last couple of months here. Like we did both Twitch and YouTube. YouTube is almost making the most money that it's ever made in the last 5 years or so. It's crazy. Like, it's still not much, mind you. I still got to have this full-time job, and I'm doing all my other stuff. But the subscribers have gone up, which, doesn't really matter. That's not the main point. But, the money's gone up, which might be more of a point right now. Twitch has been doing real. We're past 7,000 subscribers here, or 7,000 followers and such. Things have been really working out on both sides. And, a year ago, we thought was the end of the world. It was like legit in game, A year ago, we started this Twitch channel to really make something happen, right? And it was really scary. With this Corona situation, and now a year later, things seem to be working out. As they should. Perfectly balanced. You guys take care of yourselves, okay? I made it to the one reality. You guys take care of yourselves. Thank you for your time today. It was an awesome time. It was the best of times. Let's just try to remember the Captain America as we saw it. A hero, a legacy. Take care, y'all. I'm out.